on my channel. Raul was like, Jesus Christ.
You are now live, so.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. Just you've got enough suntan already.
Live.
Do I
Have
have
a
to sit
seat.
up here on the side?
No, come on down.
Yeah, this is peculiar. All right, there we go.
So the rest of you guys like suck it in.
I'm now feeling much better. I might not be
I'll
very
keep throwing
comfortable.
those drinks in your glass. You just
Oh
keep
yeah,
All right.
oh yeah.
You do your
You're
thing.
gonna have to find out how to get me home.
You are all live, so don't say bad
Yay.
things.
Don't say the F-bomb, gay.
The
I heard
F-bomb?
about what you did on Michael's live stream.
Within 12 seconds.
Within 12 seconds, apparently. Yes, exactly. This channel this is a nice proper
Oh,
channel.
this is a nice proper channel.
That's right. We don't
I've never
say
heard
stuff like
Lewis
that.
use the F-bomb.
He
Or
would
Jessup.
never.
Never.
I don't use bad words.
You guys got to make sure that Michelle James approves of what we do here. No, I
Who's
use the
Michelle?
Some useless.
Hey, Michael.
All right, what's all this going on?
Where's your?
James is what?
Oh,
All
turn
right,
on.
so
I'm gonna
can
turn
we-
on your super chat.
She's the lady that sells the booze for
Yeah.
GTI.
Wait, what?
They have super chat.
Oh, well, I'm really,
Super
really
chat.
worried
What the hell is all that?
You should.
I should be very
It allows you to get donations in the stream.
Camera me, the shit that's gonna come out just one of these legends. Trust me. I'm gonna get banned from Facebook.
Oh, it doesn't
that I
matter.
don't belong to. But that's all right.
Keep hanging out with us. Take love.
Oh
You
shit.
know all of that shit, and you think my birthday's in August?
That's my phone number. I don't.
By you or him.
You're going to be
What
banned
does
from
that mean?
Facebook groups you don't even belong.
yeah.
Guys, I got banned. Leave me alone.
That's a goal.
Okay,
I like
let's.
that. I like
People
that.
that.
That's a goal.
All right, we're gonna watch a video.
Why?
We're gonna watch the video of today's Nebraska lobbying that we did. So this was a hearing for the right to repair bill in Nebraska, and what we're doing now is kind of more like a wake. That's what Gay said when we walked in. So it didn't really go that well. So we wanted to kind of watch it again and maybe offer some little editorializing and at least kind of take some lessons that we can apply to some of the other states.
Yes.
We're gonna give up in Nebraska. Nebraska wins. One for Nebraska. All right. So do you
This is
hit
an
play?
awesome B&B.
All right, so where?
Got some electrical issues.
Where?
Should be joined by Senator Moorfield from Lincoln, Senator Hansen, who will be
How do you
sitting
make
next
that
to
as loud as
Senator
possible?
Halloran from Lincoln.
You're never gonna hear that over everybody.
Michael Alberting, first challenge, make that TV loud.
Everybody's saying, "How do you like Mr.
It's
Chambers?
coming from his laptop. So
How do you like Mr. Chambers?"
Oh, don't even.
yes. How do you like Mr. Chambers?
Who wants to give the mic to the first person with something to say about Mr. Chambers?
There you go. Oh wait. Okay, I have a quiz question. Let's see in the live chat. Which of the following is true about the eccentric Nebraska Senator Ernie Chambers that we met today? Number 1, he once rode a unicycle to work.
Maybe. Eh?
Maybe. Number 2, he once sued the...
There's also a white sheet on the table if you do not wish to testify but would like to record your position on a bill. We'll begin our bill testimony.
That's
with the
Mr. Facebook.
introducer's opening statement. Following the opening, we will hear from proponents of the bill, then opponents,
guy.
followed by those speaking in the neutral capacity. We'll finish with a closing statement by the introducer if he or she wishes to give one. Let me make
Seems like his job was to burn up your time, Simon. That's them plugging their mics in.
plus the introducer's opening. So we will have an hour for proponent testimony and an hour for open. And with that, we'll begin our hearing on LB 67, Senator Brooks.
It's actually much smaller.
Good afternoon, members
All right,
of the
I don't-
Judiciary Committee.
okay.
I am Senator
All right, here's the quiz
Lydia
question,
Rush,
Lewis. What did that lady talk
representing
about?
District 16.
Quick.
Which
My
lady?
name is
Right
spelled
there.
Lydiabraszch, and I am here
This is
today
a question to know
introduce
whether or not it was effective
LB
and memorable or
67.
not.
You have before you a complete copy of my testimony today, but I understand that you have 6 bills and to be respectful of your time. And at your leisure, please do read the details. And I will do a brief introduction and go over.
Should we fast forward to the fun part?
In that handout, you will have an amendment that we have offered on the bill, the testimony itself, a report from U.S. Copyright Office from December of
co-sponsors, yeah.
2016, and basically cliff notes.
This is
of that
Lydia
study.
Brosh, who I was
So,
really impressed with.
this is
One of the
a very
questions,
important
one of the
bill,
questions
as
that I
you've
asked
seen,
her
there's a
in
number
the
of
sort of the
testifiers here.
pre-meeting
The people
was,
that
you know,
contacted my
how many
office,
lobbyists had you been
we have a
visited by?
bunch.
And she
So
said
we have
at
some
least
from Lincoln,
6.
some from
That was
Omaha.
a lot, you know.
believe
And
one
that,
at least is
and
from
then
Senator
I wanted to
Hickson's
kind of get a
district.
sense
We
of
have
what had
people
the
from,
most
an
persuasive
education
arguments been. So I asked her, was there ever a moment where they said something that kind of made you think, maybe they got a point here? And she said, no, never. You know, like she was crystal clear, not for a minute. Yeah, that's what she said. You know, so her history was that she herself, she's married to a farmer, and fairly recently she had to endure one of these long tractor parts battles and having the guy come out and you got to pay him $1,500, you know, and there's no fix, no fee on the tractor diagnosis. We're in the wrong business.
I want to fix tractors.
Let's go. Yeah, that's what we should do.
Let's make tractors.
Yeah, so she was the city girl with a, you know, graphic design, and then went into IT professional for years, and then married a farmer, and so she really kind of was comfortable with both and all the sides of the issue. So she was fantastic, and that's what every state needs, is someone who
Let's
has
fast forward
that
to the
personal
troll.
story. So what we really need to do is to go to
Huh?
each state, take someone's phone. We
Let's
need to take
see.
someone's
Every time I
phone,
play the
piss
video,
on it, so
it
that they
destroys
lose
the
all their
stream.
data, and then
Because
it'll
I'm
be
asking
really
it to do two
personal
things
to
at the
them.
same time.
They said like soon as it's like
Yeah.
the stream's going down.
As soon as I play the video, it kills this.
I think it's just like the Wi-Fi just shit.
Does anybody want my hotspot?
That's why I said. That's why
It's not the wireless. It's just every time I play the video, it kills
it
this.
does it just the same.
Yeah, so I just can't have that video playing on the screen.
All right, can we play that?
Wait, what part do you want me to
With-
start from?
I've got my Lenovo laptop in the other room if you wanna.
Can't we just play his live stream?
I could play the audio. I just can't play the video of the stream while doing the stream.
Okay.
So I can't like.
All
So which part do you want to fast forward to?
Well, let's hear the people that are here. Let's see. Well, let's hear.
Oh,
Let's-
God, I don't even want to watch. It's hard.
When were you? Okay, let's watch.
Let's
Gay.
start. Let's start
hear
with.
it.
And I'm here to speak to you.
Stop it.
Thank you. My name is Gay Gordon Byrne, GAYGORDON-BY.
You remember to spell your name? That's better than some people on the sofa.
The executive director of the Parents Association.
If you can't spell a name that I already wrote down, then you're just a fucking idiot.
You said there's no way they could ever possibly read that.
I wrote
paper.
my name. Why do you have to ask me how to spell it?
Because you wrote it in
Fucking
chicken
Google it.
scratch.
Google
You
it.
can't be taken seriously until you spell your name out like a fucking kindergartner in front of the camera for that.
So anyway,
I wrote it down. That's all that needs to be done.
Oh, man, who's that fat old
For
That's
setting up this
mean.
hearing. I was here last year as well. And I'm here to speak to you about the structure of the bill, why the bill is the way it is, and answer any kind of legislative
there's my
questions,
camera in the
because I
background
thought
not
we'd
working
all
because of the
here,
SD
a little
card
closer to the
that
actual
had all your
graphic.
porn on it that I first
A
had to
little bit about the
delete
Parents
off.
Association.
I told
That's
you.
what I was sitting there doing in the front row. I had to first transfer it to my computer because I didn't know if they were your favorite clips, and then initialize the card, format it, and that's why I didn't record anything.
A large number of our members are themselves nonprofits. Groups such as the National Christina Foundation, which has 1,200 charities within their umbrella. They are members. The Institute for
somebody
Local
heard your
Self-Reliance
comment.
are
Fuck.
members.
There you go.
They're going to get to the one I don't
And
want to.
some very large recycling
one
groups are members. So we are an umbrella association,
deleted
and
comments.
we are entirely grassroots.
I just want to fast forward to the
Essentially
trolling.
The circular part of the circular economy. Everything after you buy the
All right,
equipment
let's
through
fast
final
forward to,
recycling
well, who's
falls under
next?
What impact that really has on jobs in local communities. It's
Mm-hmm.
very cool.
Wait, who?
For the record, I am a street legal.
This one's boring.
Where are you from?
We are preparing the television.
Boring.
Yeah, why didn't they ask you where you're from? Why didn't?
First, I'd like to thank.
All right, stop. I want to hear what Kenny said. Here's the thing.
Jason.
Not like yeah, after him or before.
Kenny?
No,
Yeah,
that's
the tractor guy.
That's Tony, then there's Brenda, and.
That's Jason,
Right.
right?
This
Stop.
guy.
So here's the deal with him. He, I thought, was fantastic, especially like he was super smart, super knowledgeable, great like BFF tractor guy.
Right.
And at breakfast, they had really articulated this really awesome story, which was, you know, something to the tune of, if I have a tractor and there's anything at all wrong with it, so instrument panel just goes out, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna investigate it, because people fix tractors.
Right.
Pull it out, and I'm gonna see that there's a blown fuse.
Right.
I can get the fuse for $10,
Right.
and I can put it in, but once I disconnect that from the instrument panel or anything else from the main computer, the computer then says, oh, ignore that piece. So when I plug it back in, now fixed, the computer continues to ignore the piece that I unplugged. And the only way for me to, I mean, he's already done the repair. It's fixed. It's
Right,
working.
it's fixed.
The only way for him to get that tractor's instrument panel, which has nothing wrong with it, is he has to call the guy from John Deere or Case or any of those places. They have to come out, and he has to pay $1,500 at a minimum, just for them to come out, plug in their phone, and be like, factory
Yes,
reset. Yep, good job, buddy. That was the right fuse.
Right.
Well, we're gonna head on out of here. $1,500 for something as tiny as that, and it's maddening. And with the whole safety in the tractors, what is a farmer gonna do? They're gonna just not have that thing working. They're gonna just sit there and ignore the seatbelt alarm, or they're gonna just go, well, I guess this is about 6 miles an hour. That's what I would do. You know, like that's what's not safe. You know, is not wanting to pay $1,500 in order to get something to turn back on.
Neutron Flux Lab says, fuck Cuck Freeman.
But so that was the story he told at breakfast, and then I kind of missed his testimony, so I want to hear what he actually did with his 3 minutes. You know, because I thought that breakfast story was like really
Revive the Truth says, was Chambers a cuck? Did he fall asleep halfway? Chambers was an ass.
Well,
You are.
we'll get to him. I want to hear this just for a second.
Thank you. My name is Kenny Rolfson, KENNY, I'm here on behalf of Abilene Machine as a proponent. First, I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to hear us, and I appreciate that.
I remember when he was like,
Touch on something
did you
more.
say you own a multinational company?
The
Let's
Moss
make this
Magnuson Act specifically outlines how warranties work as far as manufacturers and the users. The way I understand it is that it's up to the owner of the equipment. And if he does do an aftermarket part and it happens to cause some failure, the manufacturer has to prove that. So there is warranty protection in the
What do you think?
third-party repairs. I can get a copy of that act if you'd like it, but it specifically protects users or equipment owners from the warranty claims by the manufacturers. I'd like to start
He
out
doesn't.
with
He
a
wants to
little
go
bit of
home.
history of Abilene Machine.
Senator Halloran
Machine
wants
was
to go
founded
home.
in 1980
Look at his
by
nose
Paul.
microaggression.
We originally started out as a used salvage yard, and we progressively got into new parts. The reason we were able to do that is because we were able to reverse engineer those parts, build them, and in some cases make them better, and offer a service at a lower price.
I mean, like that. Like this guy has built amazing parts that don't require this bullshit. And people love them, and he's selling them, and all he said was like, well, you know, we've got these parts, and we've actually made some of them better, and da 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 da. No, it's really fucking awesome what you're doing, dude. You know, like it's the 3 minutes sucks.
This 3 minutes is awesome.
Yeah, it does.
The fact that you can't respond is worse. I'd rather give me 30 seconds, but let me respond to stuff. It would be better.
Nobody
totally.
explained the rules.
The format is just really hard.
It is. Yeah.
Like as,
Yeah, it's like, let's have a debate, Lewis.
as soon as Morgan.
Wait. Guess what I'm getting ready to say, but first you respond.
The whole dry run, not just a
Beep,
2 plus
I'm
2.
sorry. Your time is up.
No, as soon as he said like that's not competition. No, why should you help them compete with you? I wanted to say they don't do data recovery. There's no competition.
Right.
But I couldn't say it. And when I wanted to walk over, and the security guy did this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like there was the
Yeah.
red, the old guy with the red thing, and then there was the actual
he,
security guard.
identified you as the problem guy, like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
early on.
Yeah, he,
The whole time he was like 5 steps hovering.
yeah,
around
he
you.
was staring at me. He kept coming over. I mean, I would have too. He knew what I was gonna do, which was interrupt, and that's his job, is to keep me from doing mine.
From walking around going wrong.
Wrong. It's not fair. It's not fair.
What if you had this microphone? You could just like have the freedom to walk.
You know what I
behind,
should have
like,
done? I should have plugged my microphone into their shit so that I could just go wrong. I wish because they had a mic panel there. I should have fucked with it.
I was going crazy in the back, going, wrong, not true, wrong. There's a guy sitting next to me, and I said, I hope you don't mind. He said, no, I would like to have testified, but I couldn't. But I'm sitting there going, bullshit, wrong.
There we go.
It was so hard. It was so hard to watch all of this and not be able to, and not be able to say, wrong.
Fucking idiot. Whatever you were gonna say.
Well, thank you, Jessa.
Words right out of her mouth.
The micro, that is what happened with the microwave magnetron description? Because I honestly started falling asleep.
Oh, that was so.
Okay, all right, let's go find something good.
I feel as Chambers interrupted Lewis's speech as soon as he mentioned lawyers.
Let's just go up to something we can discuss.
I think it's paramount that a farmer or a third party or independent repair shop.
I wanted to see what was on the paper.
Me too. That's what I was doing.
You were zooming on his paper? Like, I was trying to see what he's reading.
Yeah, I was zooming on the John Deere guy.
What is it? Is it like
all-
alimony
that-
paperwork
The
or
John Deere. Did you zoom on that one? I really wanted to see it.
No way, because namely, that's how I stay alive. That's how my business functions.
Magtrometer.
Yeah, fast forward. Let's go.
I'm gonna close with this.
Not capable of talking text, she shouldn't have been allowed to speak.
Wait, what?
Where it says fucking magtrometer,
Oh,
not
yeah,
capable
yeah,
of
yeah.
talking tech, should not be allowed to speak. That was
No, she can speak because she showed us that she power lifts.
Yeah.
So it's all right.
Wait, that was the woman?
Yeah.
I thought she
I'm
was.
sorry,
I didn't know
yes.
she was the opposition.
Yeah.
You
What,
made me
you
shake-
didn't?
You made me shake hands with the opposition.
Of course, that was my whole thing. I walked up, hey, enemies. That was like,
If I knew that she was the enemy, I would have, like.
Jessa.
you gotta like
This
befriend
is a
people
tremendous
wherever you go. It doesn't matter if
opportunity
they're
for the
your
state of
enemy or
Nebraska
not.
If you pass this bill, I think you'll be on the forefront.
This was back when we thought they might pass the bill.
This is when we thought we had a chance.
This was before we realized nobody gave a shit.
Fast forward.
They were already done.
Fast forward.
That's before we realized that we were just here to be trolled by Ernie Chambers.
Let's see. Where's
And then
the?
that's it.
Where's Ernie?
I know. I want to hear you.
I want to
didn't
hear Ernie. I don't want to hear myself.
some of you.
I don't want to.
Go back. I want to hear you. That's one of the ones I want to hear.
Just never mind.
I'm here. This is my terrible testimony.
I want to hear.
Oh, there we go. Lois, in the chair.
I'm the shortest one in the chair. I can't even reach the desk. It's like I should have got a phone book.
We talked about it in the car. He had to look up what a phone book
My name
was.
is Louis Rossman. I have a store in New York City. I employ about 4 people.
Could you please spell your name?
L.
Because that's so fucking hard.
Last name.
You could just read it off the paper I gave
Read
you.
it off the paper. Fucking Google. Like,
Ready? Alright, so I employ about 4
You look
people.
super
We do
professional.
Apple product repair primarily. We've done about 15,000 repairs over the past 5 years. About 1,000 of those are data recovery for devices where there is no option through the manufacturer to get data for any amount of money. Now, there are certain arguments that you're going to hear today. You're going to hear trade secret, copyright, safety, and security, and I'm happy to take questions on either. So when
I
it
think
comes to
you
trade
did
secrets,
really
I
good.
understand that there's no company that's going to want to give away a roadmap to their competitors on how to produce the products that they make. which is
Whoa,
why I wanna
that's-
make
whoa,
clear
this
that
privilege
not
is-
what we're asking for. All we want is the information required to fix the product, which you cannot use to manufacture it.
let's fast forward to what he said.
No, I want to like
So
capture
when it
you.
comes
I want to
trade
hear what you
secrets, I
said.
understand that there's no company that's going to want to give away a roadmap to their competitors.
only 3
on how to
minutes,
produce
don't
the
worry.
products that they make, which is why I want to make clear that that's not what we're asking for. All we want is
Especially
the
because
information
everybody
required
says
to
we
fix the
didn't
product,
talk about
which you
data
cannot use
recovery,
to
and I feel like we
manufacture.
did.
So if we were just to go back in time to when the Uniform
feel like
Trade
you did?
Secrets
He
Act
selectively
came out
ignored
in
it.
1979, Back then, we couldn't have anticipated how electronics were going to be. If you were listening to Johnny Carson on the radio and you turned it up a little too loud and the fuse blew,
Like, did you?
I really
what-
tried to
did
make
you
it
see
age
the
relevant to
yellow-
him, like Johnny Carson radio.
Yeah.
I tried.
To Radio Shack and
Yeah,
get a fuse. Nobody could have imagined
Michael
that there
Overdick
was
said
any
VCR.
way
I
that
mean,
trade secret
can't do any
copyright
better
law
than
could be used
that.
to keep people from doing this. But if you fast forward to 2017, everybody here has a device in their pocket.
The guy next to
Where
him.
that fuse
Yeah, he's
was,
like,
say, 40 years ago.
Ernie just realized he knows what a VCR
in that
is.
space. Nobody could have imagined that trade secret or copyright law would be abused to the point of trying to prevent people
This
from
was
replacing
good. I mean,
small
this
components.
should
Now,
have been in
I
there.
have
You know,
proof
it's
that
good.
this has occurred since I made a video showing people how to replace this fuse on a $2,000 laptop. You open it, I show where the fuse is.
Let's
I
see if
show
the
how
guy
to
moves the
replace it,
drink.
And I show the keyboard and the trackpad working again. It commonly
Nobody's
results in
sleeping.
liquid damage,
You're a
which is
rock
very
star.
common. I
Look
see
at
some
you.
people here have drinks next to the laptops. It happens a lot. So I get a call from Kilpatrick and Thompson.
Ernie Chambers.
Ernie,
Chambers, of course.
You know, take this video down.
another person that should be a mod.
Showing where the fuse is.
Wait. What are you
and tells me
doing?
that
I
they
don't
have
know how to
they may
unmod
have
these
a
people.
legitimate argument for trade secret and copyright
Stop
infringement
trolling
because
me.
I showed you how to replace a fuse in a $1,200 product that you own. Can anybody here imagine that 40 years ago that was the intention of the bill, of the law, to keep people from replacing fuses in products their own?
No.
Now, when it comes to, let's say, security, you're going to hear the
At what
security
point did you
argument
see
made a
the
lot.
light go
And
yellow?
my argument against that is, let's say
And did
you're
you-
asking, which
and
shoe
did
do
you
put
go,
on first in the
"Oh,
left,
shit"?
left or the right?
What?
And I said,
Like when I went, when it went yellow on me, and I realized I'd said like,
I wasn't even paying attention to it.
I was like,
I was waiting to be
yellow.
cut
I
off.
was like, oh
The
shit.
same way there's no relation between knowing where the fuse is in a product.
Did you go past red?
Yeah.
It would
I
almost
went
be as
past
if I
red.
said,
What's the
Well,
point? Wait for them to say no.
I did too, but I was like, you could see like me going like this, like talk, freak out, talk really fast.
You guys see that dude get excited when you get a friend request?
I really want to find the point at which I caught the senator on Facebook. Was he a senator or an assembly person or what?
Any of
Yeah.
those issues, I'm more than happy to answer.
Oh.
Senator Chambers.
I think somewhat rapidly. I think you
All right, I want to hear it. All right, here we go.
No, he was paid by Mark Zuckerberg. Just a minute. Like, he's one of his constituents.
How can like on my camera, it has the face, the Ernie Chambers face, which is hilarious.
rapidly than I
I couldn't pan. I was busy.
question or two. Did you mention some kind of legal action that had been undertaken?
Yeah.
There's no relation between the two. The same way there's no relation
So
between knowing
mean.
where the fuse is in a product and how to hack it. It would almost be as if
It's
I
your
said I could hack
douchebag
everything
reputation.
in
That's
the
what
building and
happens.
your electrical.
You got to be nice.
Anybody has questions on any of those issues, I'm more than happy to answer.
You're not from around here, son.
Nobody's gonna hear what they're saying. So this,
Rapidly, I think you speak more rapidly than I think. So, a question or two. Did you mention some kind of legal action that had been undertaken in court, which your lawyer or lawyers you knew about had been involved in, relative to the scope of copyright laws?
It wasn't taken to court, but my lawyer advised me that it could be taken to court and advised me that I should remove my content from the internet so that there would be no conflict.
Why would the lawyer think it should not go to court if it's an issue legal? in
Like right
nature?
there, I would have
Well,
said,
that's
I don't know. Like I would have said, I'm not an attorney. I can't possibly speculate on matters of law. And stop filibustering, you asshole old man.
that's sue God, not me. I don't know.
Be an issue of judiciary activism in order for me to win, which would mean something like this bill would have to be passed before it could win. So, but the way the law is written right now, what me showing you where the fuse is could be considered copyright infringement or a trade secret under the current law. So he said that this is not judiciary activism is not the way to get this done. You should go through proper channels and try to push
Do you know
through
what
a
I'm
bill.
thinking this whole time?
Let me hear.
Did your lawyer say that?
I want to
the
hear
state
Lewis say,
amended federal
just one
copyright
time.
laws?
It doesn't happen.
I just want to find
It's the sign of a low IQ.
I
You're not gonna
get,
find it.
that's why I'm like listening so hard. I want to find one. It's
It
like
doesn't
a gold
happen.
nugget. Like,
Law.
My brain is on it.
Well, if it is a federal law that he was talking.
He was making is that you do
Even
not,
that.
like why is this a state issue? Why is this not a federal issue? Why does Louis Rossman get to speak about Nebraska's issue? Why shouldn't this be a federal issue if Lewis's lawyer in New York advised him not to proceed with this case?
and what's the answer to that, Matt?
There's an attorney to
That's
answer that.
my question to you.
Dale,
I don't know the answer.
what's the answer?
To the why it's state whole thing? Because of the contract.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Time for some more water.
Right. The contract law is state legislation, not a federal legislation.
To play video, hit spacebar.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna get a water. I'm thirsty.
If I press that agree button on the contract on my phone, that is a business law by the state, not a federal law. So I can't take it up with
Excuse me. Sorry.
the United States. I said the contract law is with the state and not the federal government. So when I press that next button on my phone and I agree to something after I've bought it, that is
You just said bought in it, just FYI.
bought it.
Gotta represent the industry. Well, we don't things like bought in it.
So, but that is a state level issue with the contract. It's a business state law where it's not a federal law, from what I understand at this point.
Then I'll counter that with the case that the senators made, which is that people like Apple and Samsung and LG and whoever else, they sell in multiple states. So if you say that you accepted that statute in New York and thus
You're
it is a
responsible
state
for it
law,
now.
why? But they sell in multiple states. Why is this not a federal issue? Why should I not kick it back up to the states or to the federal government and not leave it to the states?
The contract law, from what I understand, is contract law is literally just to the state level. And that's why it's like a domino effect after it happens.
You don't.
Yes.
I mean, so my response to the senator would have been that the federal government is inefficient and they can't fucking do their job, and that's why Lewis had
Chris
to
Long
fly
has
from
good points.
fucking New
He's
York
smart.
to Nebraska to advocate on this
moving
behalf.
forward.
But I don't think
Exactly,
that
yeah, make sure that you
Mr.
can
Chambers was
clarify
asking that question because he was trying to like insinuate that it was just like a federal. I think he said it because he just was offended that there's people from outside of his state there today.
When will they vote?
Sure. So I mean that still draws back to his issue is why the hell is anybody from not Nebraska, wherever they are, appearing at this hearing? Why what interest do they have in this? Why should
Don't ban
Nebraska?
him.
Who is this guy?
He's a good mod.
wanted to come to Omaha.
He's a good mod on my channel.
He's not. He's a douchebag.
No, he's not.
What else do we do? Like we don't have a seat at the federal table at this moment, and this is a grassroots cause a way to start the movement.
Okay, so we're starting a movement in Nebraska, a state that elected a Republican president, a Republican United States Congress representative, United States Senate representative, United States government at the state level, a governor. From top to bottom, this is Senator Chambers' argument, and we can fast forward to this. He argued that this was a Republican government, right? So like, why is this extending? I mean, why should Nebraska rule on this? In theory, right? We just had an election in January. Like we had an inauguration that confirmed all of this after so-called challenges. Like, why should Nebraska rule on any of this? And this is not just Nebraska, this extends to every other state thereafter. Nebraska is one of 50. There are 49 other states that have to answer this question. Why the hell does New York have to answer for the right to repair movement? Why should it not answer to the federal level? Why should this be a New York issue or Nebraska or Massachusetts or anywhere else?
I feel like I got sandbagged by that question. I have this one already. No, I got sandbagged because I figured, I'm here to explain the technical aspect and all that, but I don't know. I'm not the lawyer. I'm not the lobbyist. I figured that the lawyer and the lobbyist and the people who made the bill would be the people to answer that question.
I don't care why you are here. I'm saying that you are here from New York. You are not from Nebraska.
I agree. I just don't have a good
Why are
answer.
you here?
Because I'm passionate about independent.
Because I wanted a vacation.
Because why?
I wanted a vacation.
Because you wanted a vacation.
No, I mean, I'm here because they're lobbying for something that I agree with in this state. If you were lobbying in Nebraska, I'll lobby. If they're doing it in New Zealand, I will lobby for it there.
So, to that point,
Somebody has to.
I said I'm here for my family, but my non-blood family. Sure. To clarify.
He got offended at that because you were counter-trolling him as he was trolling you. That's
right.
That was an excellent counter-troll. And like you.
All right, let's get to that.
But that's a good question. I mean, why is this not? If this was addressed at the federal level, it would have to be addressed once. If we address it at the local level, it would have to be addressed 50 times.
Here's my opinion.
That's my question.
about
He
that.
brings up a really good question. That's a good
And
point.
we're answering it. So the answer is what you missed first, which is that that purchasing something is contract law, which is state. And second is that we're not inventing something that's really out of thin air. It is really just a cookie cutter duplication of what was already done with a different industry, the exact same verbatim law in Massachusetts for the right to repair, even called right to repair.
What was
for
Massachusetts'
cost.
argument that it should be state, not federal? Because that's what I'm interested in. They like where they asked that
Well,
question.
that's the stuff like Gay can speak to that more than any of us.
And if so, can that?
But if I would have responded to that by saying, this is not what is my my area of expertise here, but I can take a
But
guess.
you can ask her, but she used her 3 minutes already, so I guess
Exactly,
you can't. And now you got to wait till next year.
That's right, pretty much.
Get the
So,
person from Massachusetts to come in RKO chambers and
I
Matt.
would say that Massachusetts.
Like then we'll have an answer because I'm sure that the question got asked with Massachusetts. I'm
Oh,
sure they got asked that
right.
question.
And I'm going to guess that the answer was something like that.
And they had a real
There's
answer.
a reason
Yeah.
why this is
I-
contract law and therefore.
I know what he
state.
was like. When he was like, "Why are you here?" He was asking in the terms of you just want to like you're just use. How do I put this? It's kind of like it's when it's like 11:59 on Saturday night and all the other people you wanted to go out with are not available, so you call your ex-girlfriend from a year ago and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Like he had the reaction that
don't
I get
know
when I
what
call
that's
that
like.
woman. Seriously, he felt like Chambers. No, he was butthurt. He's like, "Why are you talking?" Yeah, it's like,
but
why
we
are you
need that
calling
up
me
front.
now? Why didn't you call me 3 days ago to set up a date on Saturday night? Like he was pissed. And
But he's always like that for everybody.
since
All right,
1937.
let's. How do I? Should I hit spacebar?
No, you have to move back over to this. Yeah.
The state cannot
Left and
be
right to
made
fast forward and
federal
rewind.
law. If there's
Is that?
something in the federal
Yeah, that's right.
law that a lawyer thinks is inappropriate, the lawyer files a lawsuit in
All right,
federal
this was
court.
dumb. I
And
thought.
spacebar
And if
pause.
he
This
chose
was
not to
just
do that-
filibustering. I don't like that. Then do I go like this?
If you talk while that's on, then people get confused because they're listening to multiple things.
And then Jess's argument, your argument was pretty solid, which is, where are you from? Why are you here? I mean, that's the point, right?
I think what he was getting at is he didn't want people that looked like, oh, I'm just a little old business person that's actually a lobbyist getting $1 million from some other company.
Well, I like.
He wanted to weed that out in some sense,
well,
and I
later
understand
when
that.
that guy just said, "Are you a lawyer?" Yes, I am. Boom! Like that was great.
A specific question was, who invited you here?
Are you a lawyer?
Who invited you?
I invited myself. You shouldn't have open doors. That's how we figured out.
I'll tell you what I would have said if I were you. Have you talked to your state legislator? Yes, I have.
I did. We did. We talked. We lobbied in New York in
I'll
our
ask a
state,
follow-up question.
and then we failed, so we came
Let me
here.
ask a follow-up question. All right. What's the name of your state legislator?
I would have known mine.
Oh yeah. That's how you can get really.
Like my actual hometown.
Oh, yeah, that's how you could really.
That's
get
like
called
asking,
out.
do you know the last name of the girl that you dated a month ago? Like, who remembers this shit? Who remembers this stuff?
It didn't go
That's
up. I didn't
that's
think-
ridiculous.
It's not. It's
right,
worthless information.
Moving on.
It's a waste of brain space. Who did you date 2 years ago? Who cares?
No, thank you for coming.
That's
We lobbied in
ridiculous.
2015. Who cares?
Hi, I'm Jessa Jones.
That's Jess.
Were you thinking that phone was going to boot loop?
I was waiting for that phone to boot loop. I was waiting.
What was the odds?
The
that
little
phone
cap
was
on the
gonna
NAND
boot
randomly
loop?
shorting on you.
Yeah.
And I am here also.
I was sadly
from New
rooting
York
for that to
and
happen just for entertainment.
You.
I was hoping so bad. I was ready to zoom in on it and everything. And fucking do that.
JESSA.
I was just excited. I remembered it.
And what I'd like to say to you, I'm from upstate New York, and I have a PhD in molecular genetics, which is completely unrelated to cell phone repair. And I left science in order to be a stay-at-home mom. And then after my 4 kids started breaking phones, I started fixing them.
None of that was on my written statement. And then it's like, I'm already way behind. Oh, shit.
Where is your written statement?
On the computer.
Oh, that's
I
why you
started
didn't read
fixing
it.
them because it's really not that hard to do.
Well, I ran back. That was when I ran to the hotel to print it, and then I couldn't figure it out.
You can go on the internet and you can figure out how to do it. And the business grew from a dining room enterprise to now something where I fixed over 10,000 phones with a team of 5 stay-at-home moms and 1 stay-at-home dad in New York. We receive devices from all over the world, and our expertise now is in motherboard repair and data recovery. And I'm very passionate about independent repair, and I have a YouTube channel with 32,000 subscribers where I regularly share information on best practices on how to do the best at independent repair. What I want to talk to you about today, number one, is something that's really not well understood when we talk about why don't you just go to the authorized manufacturer repair centers.
That's not even a thing.
The authorized manufacturer repair center. That's not that shit. It's my expertise. It's cell phone repair, primarily iPhones. I'm going to focus on the Apple authorized cell phone repair stores. And there's a myth about Apple authorized repair, and the myth is that they actually fix phones. They don't. What we did was recently we called Apple authorized cell phone repair shops here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We also called independent repair shops in Lincoln, Nebraska. And what we found was that for any iPad problem whatsoever, from cracked glass on down, the Apple authorized folks said, I'm sorry, we can't help you, and they can only offer to sell you a refurbished device. For phones, they could only fix a very straightforward cracked screen with no frame damage. Anything else, they would have to really harvest the repairable device from you, even if it only needed a $5 charge port that even my 11-year-old can install, because you only need to turn about 12 screws to do it. So what we found, and I have some information that I want to pass around to you guys to read, which is sort of a summary of that, is that there's this myth that Apple Authorized does anything other than harvest your devices to mail
Dr.
them
Jones.
to one of a handful of these Apple Care Depot stores that they then will refurbish them and sell them back to you. The cost to the consumer is $50 to get that charge port done here in Lincoln, Nebraska today in 1 hour, or they can pay $279 to get that same 5S refurb through Apple. There is no repair of Apple products.
I'm trying to get the bald guy out of this.
Or they're
Right there, like, that's not what they'll tell you. What they'll tell you is, I cannot speak. That's not what they'll tell you. What they tell you is, I cannot speak to that. That's not my domain. That's above my pay grade. I don't understand that. They'll say anything to directly respond to that question. But the point is that it's referring to specifically people. An Apple authorized repair center is not an Apple store necessarily. It is a Best Buy store. It is any other retail location that is so-called Apple authorized repair center. They don't actually do the repairs in any of the states that are actually considering legislation. They very likely will actually outsource them, offshore them, wherever, whatever you want to call it. They will send it somewhere else that is not them. They will send it somewhere else. And so the question is not, what would you define the cost as? It is, where will you actually send it? And I guarantee you their answer, time and time again, at every hearing, there are 7 other states that this has to be considered. Every other hearing, they will say that this goes to a place that I cannot speak to. I don't know where it goes. It cannot go. Apple, quote, lobbied against this bill. They weren't even there. The only people that were there were speaking about Apple specifically, but Apple was not even there. They cannot speak to the issue.
That's the worst part, is that I feel like there's us announcing that we were showing up is part of the reason that they may have not, because they knew that they were, like, whatever, because again, like, one of the state's senators and the assembly people, like the one that like one of the assembly people that I don't remember the name of, that you think that's the important part, said that one of the lobbyists said that if when you replace one of those components, it's no longer a Mac, it's a PC, and then you misrepresent it to the customer as a PC, they can't say that with a camera on them, because if that's recorded, then that's stupid.
With all due respect, Senator, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, like, am I the senator?
I mean, I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, we are asking.
So hard, memes.
No, like the senator said that that's what the lobbyist said, and I was very nice in explaining. Like, I bit my teeth, and I cringed, but I explained why that's not true. But the thing is, the only reason he was allowed to say that is because that wasn't recorded. I think the reason they didn't show up is because when they show up to read that list of excuses, if they know they're being recorded, they know that that's going to be like, they get, like you said, they're going to be on every 4chan meme is going to like.
I mean, like right now, if there had been someone there who was like, "Hi, I'm Steve from Apple," there would be Louis Rossman head versus Steve. Bang bang meme like all over the internet right now. Instead of just Louis Rossman with Ernie Chambers hair. It's coming out now.
Whether or not they then let's say Louis Rossman versus whoever the last speaker was who represented AT&T, right? This is the argument, was that these people are watching this video in some mysterious, evil way, they're watching this video, and then
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to comment on this.
That was my question. They pulled out Apple, they sent in the former lieutenant governor.
If I were Apple, and I've talked with you a lot about like how would you argue this, which we're gonna not talk about, but I think we're pretty good at it, but if one of the things I said was, this is how I would argue, this is what I would say, this is what I would not say, and my own counsel to my client Apple would be not to go to this. Because the likelihood, they've already been there 6 times, so they've already said what they need to say. They don't really need to say it again, and the risk that they could kind of get caught out publicly saying something that is not true, or they could be challenged. They could be publicly challenged, and they do not allow that. They do not. They never comment on blogs. They never respond to comment. They never do any of that. They will never accept a public challenge.
So as much as I might disagree with any of the senators there, especially Senator Chambers, like, with all due respect, I was the only one who saw it fitting to drag my ass out from California to visit your state in Nebraska to talk to you about this issue. By the way, Apple is also from California. They couldn't drag their ass out here, but they could throw a couple $100,000 towards the issue and meet with some of your fellow representatives in their offices and say that you shouldn't support this bill. It's complete bullshit. It is absolute bullshit that Apple can sit on their ass and say that, oh, we don't have to go out there because it's not important. But individual repair shops who rely on day-to-day business can find the money somehow, some way to come out and speak about this issue. And I guarantee you that the next public hearing is not in New York or any major state necessarily. It's in Massachusetts. The next major public hearing is in Massachusetts. And I guarantee you that the people that will be there, the people that will be talking to the senators, are not necessarily directly like drivable distance to the state capitol. They're going to be there from any location whatsoever. That's absolutely ridiculous. That you could make the argument that you are an outsider, you should be shunned because you happen to come out here from a non-Nebraskan city.
Yeah, that was kind of bullshit.
Where the fuck is Apple? Where's Samsung? Where's LG? Let's go down the list. Where is John Deere based? Are they based in Nebraska?
It genuinely makes me not want to support their infrastructure or anything.
They're not based in Nebraska. Name one company, one major company that is against or for this right to repair bill. That is a bullshit argument, and you should be ashamed of yourself for making that argument. It's absolutely ridiculous.
He was just butthurt that he felt like the date that got the booty call at 1 a.m. That's the feeling that I got from it. He was just like, "Why are you here now? Oh, you didn't care about Nebraska until you could get your precious bill passed. Now you care about Nebraska." That's what I'm
saying, because you all think Nebraska's kind of a pushover state.
Okay.
He has this inferiority complex.
So to be fair, I generally fly over Nebraska.
Think that Nebraska is a pushover state?
No. To be fair, I fly over Nebraska on my way to other states that I happen to visit, because Nebraska happens to be in the middle of the country. It doesn't make it any less important. And if you imply that, then I think it speaks more about what your opinion of your constituents are than my opinion of your constituents. Because I happen to drag my ass from California and stop in Nebraska to talk to your constituents and to talk to you today than I did to go to any other state in any other country, any other state after this fact.
You practice making very good arguments. I like it.
So, to be fair, I don't practice any of this. I'm just saying, like, you're a fucking retard, and you need to consider
in general,
this
you
argument.
just practice, like, good thinking. I like this.
It's not good thinking. It's common sense.
Common sense is good thinking.
It's common sense.
Common sense is good thinking.
Okay, I'm going to give the mic back
I like
to
it.
Jessa so she can drop the mic.
Drop Jess's mic, not mine.
You need to look at Lewis's comments on the video, because one of them is just a straight image of your face that he zoomed in on. Of
when you're raging.
Oh, it was like a rage pitch. I'm reading through all the comments, and somebody's just got like a link to something, and it's just Jess's face, like. That's all it is.
I made sure to get all of the terrible microaggressions.
I smelled my drink earlier when I was reading through it.
I wanted everybody to know that their profile.
That's not.
Don't make me. I will.
Choke you.
And you don't have donor boards for this.
You don't have donor boards.
That's not enough for the border. Let's just put my water down right over here.
All right, what do I do? Hit space?
Space. Unless you were in here. Now you have to go over to this window.
Just
You
sell
click?
new refurbished devices. And I wanted to very quickly tell you about a particular phone.
This is when I saw yellow and I was like, shit. I was like,
This is from a
supposed to talk
woman
about
in
that
Lincoln,
phone.
Nebraska. And this is
Mostly.
Kelly. Think about what you would do if you woke up and your phone was dead. All of your memories for the last 2 years of your kids, all your business
It beeped.
contacts are on this phone. What would happen?
I was ready to zoom in. Like you can see the camera move. I was ready for the boot loop.
She went to the Apple store next, and they told her there is no way to get your data. It's not possible. There's no option for repair at all. She went then, she took the leap of faith, and she went to the independent repair
Faith, 'cause
store
we're in
down
God
Oak
country.
Street, and they said, took it apart, it's a motherboard problem, and they referred her to me. I'm a bunch of moms in New York State. I got the phone, and you can see exactly what I did to it on the live stream,
nice.
and I was able to fix it, and here's her phone working, here's all her pictures, and she's coming here today. I don't know if she's actually here. Are you here? Yay, I'm so excited, I'm gonna come give you this. So, she's gonna get her life back, and I'm so excited to go give her a hug and give her her phone. And there are people in this room that tell you that's not possible. We are a bunch of moms in New York State, and we can do this. It is very possible. It is not unsafe. There's not a risk for hacking. This is just Legos. This is just Legos. Open up your phone, take a look inside. There's no magic. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Yes, Senator Chris.
Dr. Jones, you bitch.
But
A lot of what we're asked to do is legislate common sense and the ability to do it. You're already doing it. So why are we legislating?
he's not on Facebook. The laptop is
That's a
closed.
great question. I could fix Kelly's phone because it was an iPhone and I happened to have a piece of information that fell off a truck in China. Without that piece of information, I would not have been able to fix her phone.
Another Chinese intervention.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, Senator Baker.
Is Lewis a mom too?
Folks. Dr. Jones, have you testified on this in New York?
Testified, no. I've been to New York once, 2 years ago, and met with some folks informally, and that's about it.
So why are you here today? There's two people in a row from the state of New York.
City Slicker.
Why are you here?
Because I'm very passionate about this, and what we're seeing now is we're actually getting our ears on what the lobbyists are saying, and to us, these issues of
Face focus
security
wasn't working
and
for you for some reason on
safety
you.
are
I had it
just
manually
false
focused.
statements that have no basis in the actual fact. Can I get a pen?
Drawing trees.
Contacted you.
The one that's on the
I
left.
contacted repair.org and said, I'm very passionate about this.
Thank you.
And she just cuts you off.
Senator Baker.
Okay, so the point is that
Let me see again, Mike.
He has to have his own.
Senator
Those are like 40 mics in there?
Senator Fuckface decided that Jessa was not a valid argument because she so happened to be from another state that happens to not have a public hearing. So God forbid, this is the only state that Jessa can go and speak on behalf of repair shops everywhere. God
very-
forbid that.
At least Chambers asked questions in addition to bringing that up, whereas that guy, all he did is like, City Slicker?
So I'm gonna ignore you.
So yeah, and to clarify and to be sort of respectful, his name is actually Senator Baker, and that's 2 K's, not one, and he thinks that he.
Maybe that's why they make you spell your name.
See?
He got offended that nobody spelled it with 2 Ks. I get the same thing with 2 N's. Offensive.
To be honest, that would have been my response. Is that like, Senator Baker, can you spell your name Bakker? Okay, thank you. Now I understand. Now I can listen to what you have to say. Because I couldn't understand that before, because you didn't spell your name out in the beginning of your testimony. By the way, now I don't care what you have to say because you happen to be from New York or wherever the fuck you are from. Like, this is not this is not central to Nebraska. This is every other state in the country, and you could argue that it's every other country in the world. But the point is that these people have chosen to show up because Nebraska has decided that we're going to have a public hearing. If you didn't like having non-Nebraskans in your state, then you should have made it a closed hearing like New York did. If you don't like that, then don't make it public hearing. Don't try to exploit the people. By the way, the people you're going to hear from after me are from, I guarantee you, they are the majority of them, I think it was a total of 10 people that testified, they are not from Nebraska. They're from every other state in the country. Every other state.
It's just not an argument. Like, where I have an argument why this is a good law. Where are you from? Outside. Who cares? He didn't even try to hide his bias. What are you doing?
Trying to make it not.
Any other questions?
Like play.
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Okay, next proponent.
Why are you calling me Ms. Jones?
Every time that blonde woman walked by, the comments blew up with just shit that I'm so glad it's not locked. Did you read any of that? It was just like, I had to stop reading the live chat at some point.
I'm sorry.
MICHAELCALLIES.
This was the guy that sat next to me. He's such a nice guy.
He read
And I
his.
asked him, sitting there, like, so are you more excited or more nervous?
And the
He's
reasons
like,
that
more
is
nervous.
necessary.
He was very nice, but he was reading a book report.
Bill, you are giving Nebraskans the choice and ability
And he
to have
practiced it
software
for
and
2 hours
information
on the way there.
needed to diagnose and repair the equipment as necessary.
And he's
I
a
personally
repair
worked with
guy,
an
you know,
OEM
like
dealer
that's
for
what he
over 21
does.
years.
He is very nice,
And
but
had
everybody
access to
fell
the
asleep.
full range of
Like,
of information
You
and
accidentally said
technology
that out
that
loud.
was available.
who?
Many times
You
customers
accidentally
would
said
want to
that out
purchase
loud.
the
It wasn't
repair
an accident.
software and information systems offered by the OEM, but would be told that it would not be sold to customers. Yet, large customers
No, it wasn't him.
that would have the ability to acquire the software and information, thus giving them the advantage
Wrong
of
answer.
repairing their own. This provided the large customer with a financial advantage over the smaller customer because the small customers had to have their equipment repaired at the dealer at such time as the dealer had available. Doing so was costing the small customer more money by not having the ability to repair it themselves in a timely manner or at an independent repair shop of their
I like this
choice.
point. Eric Olson, I love how
Yeah, I
unwilling
know.
Nebraska politicians are to put their state on the map for something good, but are offended at outsiders tainting their open hearing.
You just
See-
said taint. That you asked me. You asked me the other day to bring it up. The next time you said taint, it was just right now.
The point. I read that was a quote,
Well,
but that's a
doesn't
very good
matter.
point.
Just
He's offended.
following directions.
He's offended that people think he has a hick state, but he doesn't want us to talk because we're out of state. What are you encouraging? Like,
I hear you.
you don't get to be a Democrat and be mad at open borders. It's the same country.
The issue at hand may be disputed at great lengths by others, but it all comes down to the fact, in order to diagnose and repair the computer-laden equipment
really
of
funny.
today, you have to have the proper diagnostic software and documentation appropriate to repair the product or equipment with issues. The OEM dealer and retail market product manufacturers want to retain their hold on the product by means of
All right, we're gonna have to move up.
their access and
Do I
repair
go like that
parts
now, or do I have to hit
ability.
space?
Hit. Oh, where are
In
you?
doing so,
You
they
you
can
have to have the
maintain
mouse on here.
control of the consumer information comes down into manufacturer equipment.
At one point, he's like, just summarize this.
So you're almost done.
Yeah, because he was like way over there.
I personally believe that
Let's go to the next.
Are a monopoly under the law, then the
This is
federal-
just painful. I don't think I can
appropriate
even watch
federal
this again.
agency will step in.
This
There
is
are
the one I was
certain
talking about in the
mergers that
car,
are
where he was
attempted,
like,
but because
yes,
they would
yes.
create
Like,
a
no, you don't say
monopoly,
yes.
You were just getting led like a lamb to a gyro
no,
stand.
It's just like,
Hero stand.
Why has it been determined that the legislature should be approached rather than have a federal representative seek
he's just there to make sure
national law
nobody's on
to
Facebook.
cover this situation as it applies all over the country?
That's right.
I'm just asking
He has a
for your
taser
opinion.
in his hand.
Well, I can't
I see. He's looking right at the camera. That's you, mother.
portion of
They call him in whenever there's out-of-state
here,
people.
but there has
Tends to
been
get a little wild.
an attempt in the past with the Senate, and it got about so far and never continued because they run out of time. I'm sure down the road it will be
Oh, yeah.
reapplied. but
Yeah, clear.
At this time,
Right.
it hasn't been
Right.
fully developed.
Let's be clear. We're not lobbyists. We are personally passionate people about the one thing that affects us. So maybe you should ask the actual lobbyists. You know? Right.
Michael is
I'd
on.
like to thank all of you for
Oh,
giving me
here
the
we go.
opportunity to sit
I know
in front
this
of you
guy.
today.
The family.
My name is Michael Oberdick, MIC.
He's in my family. He's my bro. He's my best bro.
I'm from New Ohio. This is home for me is not only an electronic
No, we
repair,
don't.
but also
That's
because of my
what it was
family's
like.
farming and heavy equipment businesses.
I'm gonna say every goddamn word I have on my page in 3 minutes.
Struggle. My father's been my repair hero since the time I was 5. I have watched him go from being able to fix everything.
Wait a minute, sir. Are you from Nebraska?
Every piece of equipment he has to almost nothing. It also hits home with me because I own an electronic repair business. Repair and reuse has allowed me to create over 25 jobs for people who thoroughly love bringing devices back to life. My team is my family, and nothing makes me happier than...
Whoa. I thought I was your family.
I got multiple families. Some aren't blood, some are blood.
Okay.
Providing them with an opportunity to do so. My repair family is my team in Ohio, and we are just a tiny percent of repair. And we have saved over 100,000 devices in my business in Ohio alone. Many of which would have ended up in waste stream, or the devices were told they were unrepairable, which led to them being forced to buy a new device. Without people like me, devices are removed from their life cycle prematurely, end up in the landfill, or important information that cannot be replaced
What's that
is lost.
guy over there thinking right now?
Today I'm going to briefly touch on some security issues. There
I
has
can't
been
wait to get to
fact-based
Tinder.
arguments about the security issues that we've presented, although they keep saying it is
Should I take another bite out of this mic?
Why? Part swapping on hardware does not pose security risk. When I replace my fingerprint reader, it does not cause issues because the fingerprint is inside the home button, or is inside the software, not inside the home button. If I
No, that was
Whoops.
actually not.
buy a bike and pop the tire and replace that tire with a new Firestone, it doesn't affect the risk
Abort!
involved with me not wearing a helmet or choosing to wear my helmet. Also, if I change the tire, it does not give that manufacturer of the bike the ability to come break my bike. Kirchhoff's principle is simple. Without real facts about the
That I just looked up this morning.
security, you can't point at it and just say it's unsafe without telling us how and why.
I can't recite that.
We cannot
I also looked up the pronunciation
allow security concerns to be
twice.
arisen with the idea of fear in mind. And in the heads if the heads of my VCR need replaced, you cannot induce fear into the consumer who does not understand the repair that you're about to perform, and tell them that the VCR tape inside here is going to be at a risk of data loss, when the tape inside there has nothing to do with the actual head replacement. Once again, I would like to thank you guys for not only allowing me to sit in front of you today, but to listen to my extended repair family sitting behind me and the thousands that are unable to be here today.
Well, my favorite comment was, Chambers just realized he knows what a VCR is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obrick. Any questions?
Obrick.
Senator Chambers just realized he knew.
He called you an iPhone with error 53. Obrick. And you spelled your name too.
So you're from Ohio?
Yes.
Wait, I want to go back. How do we make him say that?
You say you weren't from where I'm from.
All right, here we go.
I have. Did you say you're from Ohio?
Yeah.
I fucked it up.
You are now. What did you do?
I hit down by accident.
How do you do these things? What the
can't
seriously?
see.
What
I
the fuck
can't.
did you do?
I hit down. All I did, I meant to hit that, and I hit that.
How?
by
What?
accident.
But hitting down would just lower the volume.
I don't know
What the fuck
happened.
did you do? What?
I thought you were good at fixing stuff.
Okay, now let's find where you were.
Wait, you went all the way back to the beginning? Oh, jeez.
Let's fast forward.
While we're waiting, did you say you're from Ohio?
You're from New York.
Ohio, Nebraska, yes.
I saw on TV. That's where the douchebags come from.
Who was the guy where he was like, have you contacted this guy or this guy? Or
No.
this guy?
For me, so I
Or
started Googling senators' names so that I would
Okay.
bacon or
That's-
eggs?
because the fingerprint wearing a helmet.
Like, he really said that.
Also,
Well,
if I
what's
change
up
the
with
tire,
that?
it does not-
Is
real
there really a
facts about
Senator
security,
Bacon and a
you can't
Senator
point at it.
Eggs?
In the heads of
What is now? Chambers is gonna troll. Hey, I'm here with my family. What family?
Oh, yeah.
Knew what a VCR was.
I forgot about it. You can be in charge. I've lost that privilege.
I have. Did you say you're from Ohio?
Yes.
What brings you to Nebraska, my
My repair family needs me
This
today.
is my
You
favorite.
have family in Nebraska.
Yeah, but
This is my favorite.
our repair fan.
We are a community of repair that is a family. We share.
Your blood relatives.
No, they are a second family that is repair.
Do you have a legislature in Ohio?
You're already
Yes, I
a mod, I
Have
can't.
you approached your?
I have not yet because I am
Fuck
putting
that
together
now.
the correct people in my community, not with just electronic repair, but in farmers, and putting together a game plan before we do so.
Did somebody invite you here?
I became a member of repair.org about 2 years ago. I came on my own to represent repair.
Have you gone to some of the other states?
When I was filming, I was just trying. I was like, man, that must be a hard job. And like everybody that like, as soon as they would hear him go off, they would just be like, you know. And I just wanted those like faces.
Lynn Nash says so. He hates Ohio too. Dude, he hates everybody who comes from outside Nebraska.
That's right, and he hates most of the people in Nebraska and God. That's right. Oh, but we heard in the pre-thing that he likes women, he likes kids. So they were like trying to get some kid to come in here like, can you take a day off of second grade so that Senator Chambers won't be a douchebag? You know?
They are a second family that is repair.
Do you have a legislature in Ohio?
Yes, I do.
No, we don't.
I have not yet because I am putting
Meh,
together
fail.
the correct
I would not
people
have
in my
said.
community, not with just electronic repair, but in farmers, and putting together a game plan before we do so.
Look at the guy.
You
gotta look at everybody else.
Repair.org myself.
Look at
over
the
2 years
Senator
ago.
Crisp.
I came on my own today to represent.
Wait, what'd you say?
Have you gone to some of the other states that are considering
No, I
this kind of
heard that in there. Like
I
I
have
had your
not
audio.
yet, but I will be in the
No.
future. This is my first time.
Are you aware of any other states?
I was probably saying cuck or
do
something.
this?
Yes, there's 7
Some
other.
other states, that is.
Yes, there's other states.
And your repair family in those states did not reach out to you, or you didn't reach out to them?
He's just fucking with me.
Your repair, you use the term repair family.
Yes,
They haven't reached out to you, nor you to them.
I will reach out to my repair family in every state, whether they have like one or not. If there is a bill going to be in that state, I will definitely.
This is
reach
just
out to
this
my
is
family.
counter trolling.
Yes, it
Your
is.
understanding
You counter trolling him was the best. I genuinely enjoyed this.
that
It was right around now where we were all like, yeah, this isn't going to work out.
This bill ain't going nowhere.
It was right around now where it was like, yeah, good thing that you said no on the $1,200 suit.
Damn, I'm good for ratings.
Why didn't? Because at that point, I didn't feel like I was the person that needed to be the voice, and now I'm ready to step up as a repair shop owner.
And Nebraska's kind of a pushover state too, huh?
Well, I mean, it's not warm, so I didn't come here for the weather today. I came here for my repair family. Okay, thank you.
I didn't come here for the weather.
Their family.
Because the weather here sucks.
Welcome.
Regardless who else stands up, this lady down here in the middle has tried so many times. She gets to go next.
Because she's hot.
That's what I would say.
I'm Joe Eisenberg, J-O-E, last name Eisenberg.
The best thing that this guy did the whole time. Oh, this is the guy that does the painful. Yes, it's the end. That was really painful.
You want to see him get owned, or do you want to?
The practicality of.
Yeah,
He's
I
looking
guess
at it like a
so.
shark. You see how he zoomed in on Chambers?
It's really hard though. I don't think he'll actually watch it.
Because they.
Purpose is to make money. Purpose is to make
That's what I was
money.
trying to
Wait.
do when I like mashed
Wait, let's
stuff
play
up.
because the people.
Purpose is to make money, allow anybody to get into their area of operation and deprive them from making as much money as they
This is the area I walked in. I got
Because they
stopped.
also make it inaccessible.
I didn't understand you.
It becomes inaccessible. When you live like in central Nebraska or western Nebraska, the practicality of fixing like a printer is next to impossible. You can have many skilled local technicians, and there's really no reason that the company wouldn't allow you to do it. They charge a lot for somebody to become an authorized service center, but there's not a support base in an area like, let's say, Ainsworth, Nebraska, to fix HP printers, okay?
Well, you're aware that
Repair family is equivalent to Kekistani National Ultimate Top Tier Troll, very high energy.
That's why we're here.
Are you aware that Nebraska is considered a red state, meaning Republican dominated?
As red as it gets.
And they believe in what they call the free market system, is that correct?
Yes.
and they believe that the market should not be governed by or interfered with by the government.
This is the-
Are you aware of that?
This is a yes.
Are you asking to do
Yes.
away with the
See?
free market system and have the government interfere with
Just say yes.
opportunity, I'll call it, of a big business to make more money?
Well, there's a lot of industries that are regulated in many different forms to make sure that
That's
things
what
are-
I would.
The proper answer is that it's not free market because when I'm not competing with them in this area. I'm not asking you to add legislation to stop them. I'm asking you to add legislation that stops them from stopping people from giving me things.
One person would have said,
Stop filibustering, old man.
like, you're asking the wrong person that question. We don't have a lobbyist or an attorney here because we can't afford to have that here like these corporations.
Right, yeah.
But that's not
you
his
know.
problem.
Well, it's like you can ask a question, but the person that you need to ask the question to is not a technician who is passionate about the issues that this law is supposed to solve. That's all I care about. I'm just telling you my
fair
point
and
of view.
accessible. And I think making
One of us is a guy
devices
that
such
is
as
employed to
printers,
write laws,
have
and
their
it's not
parts
me.
available is something that's important.
Do you think businesses are interested in fairness?
No, a lot of them are not.
I wouldn't have
Some of
said
them
that.
are. There's a lot of companies that have a different moral compass.
And the laws of America, especially at the federal level, allow that and encourage it. Isn't that true?
Yes.
All of the representatives
Hate
the
you.
U.S. Senate and the U.S. House from Nebraska are Republicans. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Have you all, and when I say that, the repair family, whatever the gentleman mentioned, thought about banding together to talk to these Republicans who believe in the free market system, who believe in business, who supported a businessman for president who said he'd run the federal government like a business, and the state governor said when he was at a conference that he's going to run Nebraska like a business. There's been no outcry by the citizens of Nebraska about that opinion being expressed. So you all are seeing how businesses are run. You've been told by the top federal politicians, the top state politicians, that they're going to run the state and the federal government, respectively, like a business. If the business of business is business, and the purpose of business is to make as much
I
money
can't
as
like
possible,
stand it anymore.
why are you surprised if a manufacturer says, were I to make available to you the wherewithal
All of them are thinking,
to fix
"What are you saying,
these
old
products
man?"
I'm selling you, and thereby
Yeah.
lose money. why
Even the
would you
legal
expect the
counsel guy,
business
he's
to
not
do
even
that?
involved. And he's just thinking,
That's a good question, Senator.
I'm looking for the answer.
He had no response. That's what frustrated me.
Yeah, it might be above my pay grade, but
It's not above your pay grade. You should be intelligent enough to answer that question.
Says that people in Nebraska are seen to be fools, that they accept these slogans.
He's just getting eaten alive.
politicians when
I
they
know,
run.
it was
This
so
is
painful.
painful.
And I told you, that was like the
The
most painful
reality
one. It's like
of what these
hard to...
politicians promise.
Like,
This is
also
like
when
watching
you're
a
in the
frog
car.
slowly
That's
eat a
not for the guy
baby.
Where you're like, yes, yes. You're like, no.
Like this is watching a frog eat an infant. This is painful.
You're getting what you voted for. You're having the people.
Don't
you-
insinuate
See, that part I don't like. That part is
guy-
bullshit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
does,
exactly.
like, why are you
I'm
insinuating?
a Democrat.
But,
Fuck you, old man.
but why are you insinuating who the? How do you know who the person voted for? Did he announce that? Was that part of the form he filled out? No, but why is he
You had to fill
assuming?
it out on the yellow form.
Why is
You
he
didn't put
assuming that the person testifying is a Republican? I don't get that.
Deal with people who tell you the truth. I don't know if there's any business of the kind.
It's too
you might
painful.
have a
I can't
problem
watch
The
it.
business of business is business is business.
I don't think one of those businesses would say, our purpose is not to make as much
Told you.
money as we can.
Boo.
We're not going to let our competitor
Wrong.
get an edge, whether it's at a national level, international, or the local level. Wherever our
Casual
products are sold, wherever we do business, our aim is to make money. If you
Yeah, pause. Like, what if he had just said back to him, like, would you agree that senators in legislators for various states of the United States of America should wear suits to work? Just like anything else. All right, let's
He doesn't have to. 7,800 people voted for him. All 7,800.
Are you gonna live? What are you gonna do for the whole year that you have to live in Nebraska before you can run? You're gonna die.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
Well, you have to,
Would you help your competitor compete successfully against you?
Yes, I do it every day. Look at my channel, fuck you, old man. I just can't stand it. I can't.
You're jumping ahead. We have to take it a step at a time because you are a businessman, and you mentioned in here the kind of work you've done. You do not partner with your competitor so that your competitor can take customers from you and make money that you previously have been making. So
I've never done anything like this, even remotely, because I'm not a political person at all, but I'm very passionate about this. If I regret anything, it's I pulled away from the community because of OEMs and big insurance companies, right? So basically everything I've been working on for the past 18 months is in direct conflict with right to repair and everything we're working towards and pushing for.
Oh, okay, great. We'll kick your ass out in the front yard.
Right? So this opened my eyes to how fucked up our judicial system is, first of all, but more so that...
This is the legislative branch. There's like 3 branches.
Legislative. So how fucked up our whole
That room was
entire...
the judiciary.
It's Judiciary Committee. Sorry, yeah.
It was terrible.
If you didn't have ADD, you could have been paying attention.
We spent time in a room today with a senator who sued God and showed up in a sweatshirt and had to convince him about things that we shouldn't have to convince him for. But I think that where I was inspired was the battle is well in advance of this. It's we're better lobbyists than the people that talked today that were the opponents.
Yeah,
I have no doubt in my mind that we're more convincing and they're just regurgitating bullshit that they've been fed and they've been paid to say.
What I told earlier was, if you look at the attention span during when we talked versus the opposition talked, it may not have been a great attention span, but it still was better than when the opposition talked, in my mind. If you look at who's paying attention during our talks.
Who's sleeping? Who's on
Yeah.
Facebook? Who's not even there?
Do you want to just fast forward to Facebook? Because I know it's
Air and remote communications cultural equipment.
boring.
Repair
You're
shop
reading a
found
book
in rural
report.
Nebraska.
That guy's not really.
Repair
Like that
shops
guy
could fill
now,
the
when
gaps.
Lewis was speaking, he was like chewing his microphone because he was so interested.
Agriculture repair boring and
That way.
Documentation, including repair, da-da-da-da-da. Combine, you want all this available to you right now at the point of sale?
That's
So I'd ask you to go back and look at this piece
See, like
of
that guy,
legislation.
he's like, I've already made up my mind.
Support this piece of legislation.
Like that guy is saying, I've already made up my mind, and part of my worldview is that the Farm Bureau should be telling me not to do this because this is gonna have.
He
warranty
booted up his
issues.
computer.
So let me just say to you, isn't it gonna have warranty issues?
A little bit later.
Oh, here's my fave. It's powerlifting Megatron roaster.
From your elected officials, why, if there's a Farm Bureau, they haven't approached the federal officials to get a national law? Had that ever occurred to you?
Senator Chambers, I'm not sure that they probably aren't
was
going
it this
to.
guy?
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh
But I
yeah,
know this.
yeah. I can't watch that either.
I'm
Just
a-
kill
Fast
me now.
forward.
I need a blindfold. Anybody, you guys have any blindfolds?
Let's get to the
around
part.
here?
Where is he on Facebook?
Wait, where are you
Actually,
trolling on? Like,
oh, this is
why are there so many like Jess?
I never thought of that 5 years ago. If I wanted to do
because you're rage.
Cool. That is not cool. Jesus.
Look at that. That is such a bitch. That is such a bitch face right there.
Yes.
That is complete bitch
I
face.
can't like.
Look at that
I
raging.
can't stand to watch it. At the first
What
time.
are you thinking about Senator Chambers right at this moment?
No, you ever see Dark Side with the Omega beams? This is what you look like. Let's see.
Kids would watch. Go back a second so I can remember. Oh yeah, this guy.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for
Most
being
of
here.
those times I'm just thinking, no.
Need 2 changes
in addition and for it to pass.
These were your eyes. This is what, see, you were moving around the senators.
If you've got written testimony, put your name and address on it, and we will list it in the record as
Waste
it.
of time.
Written testimony, and we apologize. And it is, two.
That's
See, like this
Facebook.
lobbyist
I see.
right here. This is someone wrote a statement that was completely like canned statement, and then they hired the hottest chick at the company to come out.
That
and
is
deliver
not
statement.
the, come on.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Let's be serious. Are you, don't, I'm only reason I'm bringing it up is because you brought up
Here's
hotness.
how I know she didn't write that.
You
She
brought
didn't
up hot-
pronounce the name.
Of course she didn't
of the
write it.
thing.
I know she didn't write it, but you're saying hottest.
Well, then why wouldn't they send the author? This is what they came up with.
Maybe the author's a dick. Maybe the author doesn't like Chambers. I don't know, but that's not the.
It was man writes it, woman can't pronounce the words. She gets to go talk to these douchebags. That's just the way it is. Play.
That's SARAHFAYEPIERCE.
That's not even how you spell her name.
Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers, or AHAM. We strongly urge the committee to oppose LB 67, the Fair Repair Act. Home appliance manufacturers not only ensure.
How about the senator that said scratch everything and try again next year?
and
That was Chambers.
Manufacturers take the
Fuck.
necessary precautions because repair
That was really
providers
douchey,
enter
I thought.
private homes. The fact that repair providers enter consumers' homes to conduct appliance repairs presents a different set of circumstances regarding the repair of electronic equipment. LD 67 comes into conflict
What
with
did she
important
say?
industry tenants, and they
Something
are
the children-
safety
what was
enter
it?
private homes.
Go back. I'm like-
Home appliance manufacturers not only ensure that authorized repair providers are properly trained and certified, manufacturers take the necessary precautions because repair providers enter private homes. The fact that repair providers enter consumers' homes to conduct appliance repairs presents a different set of circumstances regarding the repair of electronic equipment. LD 67 comes into conflict with important industry tenants, and they are safety, cybersecurity, and manufacturer's warranties. Safety, product safety.
It's to say, think of the children.
Tools for certified engineers who have the educational and technical background and training necessary to
Here come the
troubleshoot,
magtrometer
diagnose,
coming.
and conduct repairs to the appliance. LB 67 will make it difficult for OEMs
God,
to
stop
determine
it!
Look at that smile.
That's so not cool.
Oh my God! People of the internet. This is. Which one of these should be just as evident? Oh!
No! No!
Oh my God!
No!
I'm making this a YouTube channel banner.
No! No!
You looked. Come on, this is all fair game. You did that at
No,
the.
it's not. No, it's not.
approved replacement parts are correctly interpreting diamonds.
Let's do that again.
67 will make it difficult for OEMs to determine if third-party technicians are.
Said Magnetron yet?
I'll read some comments from chat. Ha 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 ha. LOL, which I assume is ha 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 ha. New banner of Raffle. Anybody?
On the new Facebook groups, this is what we're going to use every time somebody says
How did you make that so fast?
This is from one of the comments on your video.
I'm getting trolled.
Oh man, this is great. I like this fiction. Make a Tinder profile with this.
No.
You have to make a Tinder profile with this when you get back home.
LB 67 will make it difficult for
Stop.
OEMs to determine
Okay,
if
fine.
third-party technicians are utilizing
Stop.
approved replacement parts, are correctly interpreting diagnostic tools, and whether or not they have had the necessary training to properly conduct these repairs. Property safety. Appliance repairs when not performed correctly can be the cause of property damage. For example, flooding and fires. Insurance
Or
claims as
stepping
well as
on the
increases in
bushes.
homeowners' insurance premiums could result if independent third parties improperly perform in-home repairs.
This is
Additionally, in the event
retarded.
of significant property damage and/or personal injury, the OEMs could face legal claims.
You're ready to choke her. Look at that hand.
The nature of
I mean, no,
It's
seriously.
really retarded.
No, look at this. Like, look at your hand at this moment.
Consumers. In-home safety and security is of paramount importance to the appliance manufacturers, and we assume the same would hold true for independent service technicians. Manufacturers who certify technicians additionally
where was it?
tools and LB 67 will make it
You,
difficult.
look, you're making the motion to your camera.
Deliberately went back to that on
And whether or
purpose.
not they have had the necessary training to
Somebody,
properly
it's gonna be
conduct these
you.
repairs. Property safety. Appliance repairs when not performed correctly can be the cause of property damage. For example, flooding
Where
and
is it?
fires.
Where is it?
Insurance claims as well as increases in homeowners' insurance premiums could result if independent third parties improperly perform in-home repairs. Additionally, in the event of significant property.
Here we go. Okay, look at what you do to the camera.
It's
and
just like, who
look,
cares, lady?
What you're doing is
If
you're
you
pretending
can
that that's her
get
throat.
Craigslist guy to come in your house and clean, Mr. Roto-Rooter, like.
Okay, imagine that your camera is her throat. Look at this. Look at this. Look what she's doing.
Legal claims.
Look at that.
Safety. Additionally, in the event of significant property damage and/or
I'm being abused.
could face legal claims.
I'm being abused.
The nature of appliance repairs requires repair technicians to enter the
You're
homes of
mean.
consumers.
Like, now,
In-home
like, your
safety and
whole
security is of
like,
paramount importance to the appliance manufacturers, and we assume the same will hold true for independent service technicians. Manufacturers who certify.
What does Bill Burr say about when it's okay to hit a woman?
As well as
Never.
and as previously mentioned, technical and safety training. If manufacturers are required to make their technical information public knowledge, they no longer have the ability to address whether or not the technicians who are entering these homes have the
You're never gonna choke me. Just give up, woman.
technical safety and security checks. Cybersecurity. In an increasingly connected world, the threat of cyber attacks has extended into the home through connected technology, and this week we've seen it headline news once again. LB 67 completely disregards the security implications brought to
We should have just done this to Senator Chambers and the other one. Whoever wins the match gets the bill.
data privacy. Cyber threats are real concerns.
I want to ask a question.
Absolutely.
There you go.
There are certain people, and I won't name names. You can conclude your own names as you want. There are people who have not spoken out about the issue between right to repair and certain entities that claim to support the repair association and any repair shop that lies under that. And that's not necessarily anybody that repairs electronics that happens to donate to the repair association. But my point is where are they? They've not spoken up. They've not chosen to attend any legislative hearing thus far. Whether it be the Chris, what is the name of the organization?
What's what? The next one?
Yeah. What is one of the ones that is
Oh, I just got 3 emails about the Drone Repair Expo.
Drone Repair Expo. Who's behind that?
WirelessRepairExpo.com.
WirelessRepairExpo.com. Lewis, what is Wireless Repair Expo? Why does that sound familiar? What's behind that? Who's
Michael
behind
Jackson? I'm trying to think of the initials.
I can't name it. WirelessRepairExpo.com.
Huh. Let's take a look at this website.
Yeah. Let's figure it out. Because if I'm an independent repair shop,
Magnetron lady.
yeah, I mean, where do I go at the end of the year?
Wireless Repair Expo. This is Drone Repair Expo.
Drone
Wireless
Repair Expo next to
repair.
wirelessrepairexpo.com.
About us. Let's go about us. What are you
Where
about?
do I go?
You're about even slower. You're about having a slower site than I have. A new generation of blah, blah. The drone. Come on, get to the repair.
Wow. Oh my God, look at that.
Okay.
Much
so-
like mobile phone industry did for wireless repair. That is why Wireless Dealer Magazine is bringing your business a new expo combining e-drone repair and wireless e-repair. This makes drone technicians, drone repair
Wrong.
store owners, and investors more
Wrong.
in demand with every drone
Sorry.
custom solution.
Wrong.
Trump!
Wrong.
Stop it! No, but seriously, everything that just said. Why did they send somebody from CTIA to the conference, to the legislation to testify against it when they're saying it's a growing industry? How much are the ads in Wireless Dealer Magazine?
$10,000.
Oh man, that's an interesting. You know what makes me sad?
15,000 email addresses is what they say.
Okay, bullshit.
But they
Bullshit.
me 3 times.
Bullshit. I I would directly challenge anybody from the Wireless Repair Expo to CTIA to anywhere in between who seeks to represent the repair industry to appear at a debate. And I will guarantee you the moderator will either be Jessa or Lewis. And that will be the deciding factor. But I challenge anybody who seeks to represent the repair industry to show up to a debate. Gladly. I'll show up.
What I don't like is that. What was it? No, that a lot of what pissed me off is not that even that they did that. Is that a lot of people messaged me and said, "Yeah, we signed up for a booth there. I'm really disappointed." I'm like, "So back out," and they're like, "No, we're gonna go." So all these companies, they're not even asking about backing out. They're like, "Oh yeah, we already paid," and it's like, or we already committed, and it's like, then tell them you don't want to.
Bullshit.
Tell them you don't, wait, how about telling them you don't want to do it?
I'll tell you.
Why not try?
I'll tell you that my company considered strongly about backing out because we donated or contributed like $8,000 or whatever to it. And like at the end of the day, it's what's right is right. And we will spend far more money advocating for right to repair than we will for ever going to CTIA. By the way, CTIA was at this conference. Or at this hearing, they argued against Lewis.
They argued against the bill.
At the end of the day, they were sitting there in opposition.
They argued against all of us.
It's absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
They argued against everybody.
If you
no?
happen to go to CTIA or anything at any connection,
CTIA lady.
She said. When did she say magnetron?
As the home becomes
It's coming.
connected, appliances become targets. And I'll just touch very briefly on the manufacturer's warranty. Actually, let me just jump back to cybersecurity really quick.
Well, do
Just
you
want to make note that this also applies to remote and wireless interactions, and our authorized technicians are under contract for whom the authorized service providers may have some traceability. And we just don't want to see that opened up without having those assurances again of, how those third parties are accessing those in-home private Wi-Fi networks. Manufacturer's warranties. Warranties come under.
Sorry, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm sorry.
In the case
Are
of
you
major
sorry?
failures, recalls, or determining future liability if an appliance were to malfunction, identifying the responsible entity would be extremely difficult. This is because the manufacturer could not trace or document the repair history of the product if an independent third party had serviced it. Ultimately, consumers should be made aware that their warranty could be limited or completely.
It's for the best that my
eliminated
comments are not
based on
showing
the
up.
actions of unauthorized third party repair personnel. Madam Chair, members of the committee, this concludes my testimony. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may
I want to hear you say magnetron.
Senator Chambers?
I want to hear Chambers eat her.
I got some disturbing information, not from manufacturers of the product, not from the government.
Oh yeah, from
but
WikiLeaks.
from WikiLeaks.
Oh my God.
A product that's manufactured and sold to citizens can be converted.
I'll help without CTIA. That's awesome.
And conversation.
Miguel.
Jesus Christ.
One of the people in the chat.
We're all in hell because you sued guys.
You want to see what bullshit CTIA is? One of the people in the chat, remember Miguel, remember he bought that shitty, I think he got some shitty machine from CTIA that was supposed to help you diagnose phones that was complete crap. Yes. You're gonna be famous on 4chan.
There'd be like an actual generator for these.
It'd be funny if it was the
dude.
In a private context in a person's home can be picked up through that product
I want to
that
watch
was
the other guy's
manufactured.
face. I mean,
And it
you
might
just
be by
can't
a
expect
company,
this.
Samsung, who did not want to make repair
Like,
information
zoom in on his
available to the
face
people
so
we've
bad.
heard here today. Now, are these manufacturers willing to take liability, and by that I mean legal liability where they respond to damages for selling a product to
like, what is the guy thinking? What do you
which
think
can
he's
invade
thinking?
their privacy without notifying them that this product can be utilized by others to intercept anything said in your home? Should the manufacturer be liable
He's like,
for not having...
you're embarrassing Nebraska. Please stop.
Well, I mean, I think that poses some interesting legal questions, and I would say I'm not an attorney, so I am not qualified to answer. What I could say is that, I mean, I think that it opens a can of worms for sure. But
Let me ask it a different
Okay.
way. As a consumer, I cannot trust the products that I purchase from these manufacturers because they can be used to invade my privacy. Do you think that these manufacturers should have known that the products...
I gotta get her face on screen. Let's make sure that her face is on screen. Look at that.
Say
Look.
what?
opens a can of worms for sure.
She's being asked if the manufacturers like Samsung should be held liable if people's data is given away to the NSA, the CIA, and whatnot.
No, she's saying if you
Something like that.
She doesn't even. She's like works for like the appliance guys, and they're saying, do you think that in the connected home, if you bring home a Samsung refrigerator that has the ability to be hacked and you're spied on, and now all your family pictures all over the internet, does Samsung have a responsibility to inform you of that risk at the point of sale? And she's just going, what the fuck?
Look at her face. Let's get focused.
I cannot trust the products that I purchase from these
She's like,
manufacturers.
am I being trolled? Is he from 4chan?
Look at that face. Look, you can tell because the lips are becoming constricted. Like she's going from doing this to this.
Wait, what's the first one?
This to. She's in thinking mode.
No, she's in question mode, which is, I don't know if he's serious or not.
These manufacturers should have known that their products...
Look at that, with mouth wide open.
Are they gonna jump out and yell, just kidding?
Like, she hasn't moved.
To be fair, he's in a purple sweater, so.
Asking some lady who works for a trade convention.
Theoretically, he could or could not be Barney. You don't know.
She can't compute the Wookiee leaks.
No, I mean, I think
I'm not trying to be funny. If you don't feel that you can answer, these are not trick questions, and maybe somebody else will.
No, I think how I would answer that, sir, is that the demand is coming from the consumer to have a more connected environment that they're operating within.
Bullshit.
I mean, we have...
Wrong. The demand is coming from the consumer to have access to repair or to, at the very least, choose where they decide to repair their devices. And you have to understand the cost that is associated with all of these devices, which is that if I choose to spend $300 or $1,300 between a device, I understand that at some level, things are repairable or upgradable. And you know, the point that I would make to the senator is that certain manufacturers do not acknowledge device defects, right? Like Jeff's laptop could explode, but Lewis's could not.
I did open that thing.
Right? Like,
I changed your
Oh,
BIOS.
that's right. Fuck you.
Remember when I programmed it to say Thinkpad?
I remember you made it be like red sweater guy.
Yeah.
For no reason. My in warranty, brand new.
That's not in warranty.
It was at the time.
If they scan your BIOS, it's not. You have a BIOS.
In warranty MacBook and made it an out of warranty MacBook.
You did
2
that.
days after I
What is all this?
I mean,
You're a customer.
Yes, I am. It's a Lewis deterrent.
Point taken.
fundamentally, you have to understand that everything we own will eventually die. It will stop working. Whether it be a laptop or a phone, it will stop working after so many months. And I think the problem is that someone would dare consider that Jessa was violating somebody's intellectual property by replacing said battery 18 months after the fact. and then argue that Jessa was stealing business from somebody else, because that was what the person on this video was arguing, right? Was that you were stealing business from an entity that is out there to make money at the end of the day. And I think that's ridiculous. Like,
She doesn't say magnetron. It's in a magnetron.
Were the warrant treated safely applying new security technical manufacturers whose missions additionally enable flooding tools and OEMs enter private homes. There's enter
And it is 2:55, so we will complete this by 4.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chairperson Epke, members of the Judiciary Committee. My name is Sarah Faye Pierce. That's SARAHFAYEPIERCE. I'm appearing today on behalf of the Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers,
Wrong.
or AHAM. We strongly
Wrong.
urge the committee to oppose LB 67, the Fair Repair Act. Home appliance manufacturers not only ensure that authorized repair providers are properly trained and certified, manufacturers take the necessary precautions because repair providers enter private homes. The fact that repair providers enter consumers' homes to conduct appliance repairs presents a different
Wrong.
set of circumstances regarding the repair of electronic equipment.
Wrong.
LG 67 comes into conflict with important industry tenants, and they are safety, cybersecurity, and manufacturers' warranties. Safety, product safety. OEMs develop diagnostic tools for certified engineers who have the educational
Wrong.
and technical background and training necessary to troubleshoot, diagnose,
Wrong.
and conduct repairs to the appliance.
Wrong.
67 will make
Jessa,
it difficult
we have a meme?
for OEMs to determine if their
Wrong.
We already went through
technicians
this.
are utilizing factory-approved replacement parts, are correctly interpreting diagnostic tools, and whether or not they have had the necessary training to properly conduct
Wrong.
these repairs. Property
Wrong.
safety.
Wrong.
Appliance repairs when not
Wrong.
performed correctly can be the cause of property damage, for example, flooding and fires.
Wrong.
Insurance
Microwave.
claims as well as increases in homeowners
I don't think it was
insurance
her.
premiums could result if independent third parties improperly perform
Wrong.
in-home repairs. Additionally,
Wrong.
in the event of significant property damage and/or personal injury, the OEM could face legal claims. Consumer safety. The nature of appliance repairs requires repair
It wasn't her.
technicians to enter the homes of consumers. In-home safety and security is of paramount importance to the appliance manufacturers, and we assume the same would hold true for independent service technicians.
Wrong.
Manufacturers who certify technicians may require extensive background checks.
It's
as
when
well
she was
as
talking to Morgan
substance
Freeman.
and security.
Okay, you have to fast forward past this deal. So fast forward through his filibuster.
Questions, and I would say I'm not, so I am not
Oh,
qualified to
oh,
answer.
oh,
I would
wait,
say
wait.
that-
Pause that. So I represent all of these people I just laid out, but when you ask me questions, no, I can't speak to that. I'm not an attorney. No.
Magnetron.
No.
I mean, I think that it opens a can of worms for sure. But
Let me ask it a different
Okay.
way. As a consumer, I cannot trust just that you don't.
the consumer to have a more connected environment that they're operating within. I mean, we're releasing products that, from your cell phone.
Focus.
You can
It
look
doesn't
in your
recognize her face.
refrigerator at the grocery store to see if you need more milk.
You and her.
So
I need to
look
see some
at,
manual focus on.
whatever it is that you might need, and the demand is not coming through the manufacturer, it's coming from the consumer, and the consumer wants to be that connected. And so there is a risk that consumers are assuming.
Here's what I'm getting at. Should you be manufactured?
Say is that it's possible they already do that, but again, I think that is a broadly
Microwave.
recognized
Very
risk
safe
that people undertake when purchasing connected
What?
devices.
So they want the government, the manufacturers want the government to protect them and shield them from getting certain.
Say
I didn't
that it's possible they already do that, but again, I think that is a broadly recognized risk that people undertake when purchasing connected devices.
So they want the government, the manufacturers want the government to protect them and shield them from giving certain kind of information that might give a competitive advantage to somebody else. But they don't want the government to say that you have to warn the public about a nefarious use that can be made of the product you
This
sell
is him.
when they're using
No.
the product in the way
At the
that
heart
you
of
say
this,
it should be
this is
used.
not a
Well, we're here to
competitive
testify.
advantage. This is
Today, because we want to make sure that if we are having this type of information in the marketplace, that the technicians who are going into homes have the proper training, education necessary to conduct repairs on firmware, software, and electronic equipment, which is defined under the legislation.
If I might ask.
Stop that! You can't fucking
Originally,
do
I'm
that.
from Minnesota,
Delete that.
But you live in
No.
Nebraska now?
No, sir, I live in
do that
Alexandria,
right
Virginia.
now.
Do what?
Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Steal.
Okay.
Still what?
I know Nebraska is probably deemed to be a flyover or hick state,
They can't see any of
but
Was that Magnetron?
You have a senator of Nebraska defining Nebraskan constituents as a flyover state. What?
Let's get done with this. This is leading too long.
Let's get to the Magnetron. Let's see the Magnetron. 144? Yeah, but this has different timestamps than that.
do you think
That's never been.
keep into
As it's front page news, I don't necessarily know that it should be the role of government to require anyone to make that notification. Again, like I said, I think it's front page news. I think people are well aware of the risks and the threats, and people assume risk when purchasing certain products and devices.
Then when you manufacture a product and there's information that you have which would allow somebody, if they have that information, to repair the product, why should the government protect that information for you and not make it available to everybody? A condition of your being allowed to manufacture and transact business means that this kind of information is going to have to be made available to the consumer. Why can't the government do that?
Well, we had an interesting conversation about this earlier today, and I think, the response and the discussion revolved around why would you legislate something that manufacturers, at least a certain number of my manufacturers that I represent, are already doing. And I think the question for us is, once the access to that information has been gained, if you are taking it into a home and you're conducting a repair to a microwave, for example.
Here we go.
Oh, microwave.
Here we go. Microwave.
Microwave, ready.
A part that's called the magtrometer.
Here, remember what I said about low IQ and Remember what I said about low IQ and Okay, check this out.
A microwave, for example. For us is
microwave.
once the access to that information has been gained, if you are taking it into a home and you're conducting a repair to a microwave, for example.
Brain turns off.
There's a part that's called the magtrometer, and if it's not
Wrong.
replaced,
Go.
What you're talking about. I'm sorry.
and so this is a safety concern for the consumer's personal safety. It's a
Wait,
safety
what are you
concern
saying
for
in
the
it?
property.
Go back.
And so this is a to a microwave.
They're never gonna do it for you. It's hard. There you go.
They don't have to purchase new products that they've already spent a considerable amount of money on.
Magtrometer. You want to go to the Facebook person?
And then be done. Let's go to bed.
I want to get the AT&T lady though.
Okay.
I think it was during this one. During while she was talking. Is this it? I've been at work for an hour.
This is gonna be all the farmer guys. He was the first for all the Oh, there you go.
I could have easily read that. Here we go. All right, so let's see what is. Okay, so this is how. This is. Let's make sure this is on the screen. All right.
Oh my God.
Whoops, my bad. I hit stop streaming instead of play.
Whoops.
I'm sorry, people. All right, so they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be so mad when they see that. All right, so.
We spend in excess of $6,000, or at least train. We spend in excess of $6,000 a year per technician to make sure that they maintain those certifications.
Bullshit certifications. Bullshit.
We've heard these farmer guys like 50 times.
Okay, what's this? What's this?
Or at least certifications in the John Deere world.
If I focused, we could have.
And also supply them with the tools that.
Whoa!
He's on chat. Got
Dude.
Notifications.
Oh my God! Let's see. Let's walk up to the TV. Let's see. What is this? Is any? It could be.
So wrong. Is that the guy that messaged him back and said, "Dude, you need to turn around"? But he had that high back chair. I don't blame him.
Dude,
he
it's
had an
like-
expectation.
You're
of
supposed to be
privacy.
listening to what they're saying.
He had an expectation of privacy
I had a tripod.
with his chair.
I had a.
They need to do their job. That's part of the issue, is having the tools.
Shit, let's-
The other part of the issue is if you allow outside
What
parties
are you
to
thinking right now?
use or.
I was just thinking, like, it pissed me
Was
off.
part
It's like
of you thinking
you
maybe I
you
shouldn't?
made up your minds. They didn't even care. They did not even
Yeah,
care.
they didn't care. No.
Because I don't want to be one of those people that says the government doesn't care. None of them. There's nothing you can do. You might as well just give up. But when I saw that, I'm like, you motherfucker, you were right. It's
Yeah.
like really like is that what somebody who cares does? He's like, I don't need to hear this person's testimony because I already. It's painful.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me.
And like, it doesn't matter. Like when you're in third grade, when you're in school, even if you finished your work, you still can't take out a Game Boy. Like in class, I mean, this is just basic shit. Like I wasn't allowed to take. Okay, I finished the spelling, I finished the SRAs. Now I'm gonna take out my Game Boy. No, they say, okay, now read
you
another
had
book.
SRAs.
Yeah,
So
until
did
fourth
we.
grade.
Wow, I didn't know they were still around.
Yeah, I got all the way to purple ones.
Wow, good
But
job.
actually, but the point is, like, you're not supposed to do that. If you're
Well,
gonna at least hide it, like, do this, like,
the
or just,
point is just disrespect to
Yeah.
like the fact is
We showed
they
up here.
knew that there's a difference between lobbyists and passionate individuals that are directly affected by something, and so they recognized that a whole bunch of people had showed up from all over that were not professional lobbyists, that were
they're trolling.
yeah.
So
So they recognize that, and then I thought that it's rude to not listen to what people have to say when you only work 30 days out of the year, and you can't suck it up for a day. And then it was incredibly rude at the very end, where they know that we have come here hoping that this state is going to hear the passion and listen to the arguments and really be thoughtful about it. And the guy says, I'll sponsor this bill right now as long as you make one little change, delete the whole bill, and make it just say, better luck next year. Like, that's a giant middle finger to a group of people that have, put a lot of work into
And it
this
really
for
does make
free.
you not care as much about the state anymore. Like
It does.
I came
it makes
to
me want to get the fuck
that's
out
the
of
thing. If
Nebraska
that's,
right now.
that's the thing. Like if they didn't accept it on certain merits, that's fine.
Right.
But like that wasn't it. This was like, you hate me because I'm not from your state. You hate it because you think it should be this. You hate it because you're on Facebook. You don't even have a question. I mean, like,
right.
This was a middle finger.
No,
it wasn't
it
even.
was like
Okay,
none of you guys. It didn't get
Matt's
the
turn.
rush pass.
So, sorry, Senator, but at the end of the day,
Matt's having trouble forming words.
I am. At the end of the day, like these people represent more of your representatives than you think. Like, a majority of the people that could not be here
All
are
right, let's finish this up. This is
viewing,
like getting
right?
super long.
Great code
So
and give them the microcode to get into changing and modifying the code.
Do you want to fast forward to where Freeman says,
Thanks for asking.
I mean, this is all the farmer guys. That guy was good.
he was a good, I had nothing to say to that. Like,
That guy was like I thought, Jessa and Lewis of the opposition.
yeah,
I
he
would
was
be scared
good.
of
He
him in
had
the
good
future.
points.
Yeah.
I know that he's a good,
Yeah.
like, whatever who.
Good.
Hey, look, we're back on Facebook.
I think
Yeah, but they're like, yeah. You
different
know,
ways will come with more.
Now we're on
efficient
iMessage. Time for iMessage.
solutions. I do want to address the question you had, Mr. 45.
Do my taxes, you know.
Seem very 25 years.
they're Texas.
This guy was a skilled lobbyist. He really was. I gotta say.
Ensures that software is not
It's
a
gotta
problem
make you
Hats
feel
off
good.
to you on skill.
Western Nebraska. It's Australia.
Well, you mean it makes you feel good that they hired somebody that's skilled?
No. It's got to make you feel good that the guy on Facebook he's not actually wasting your tax dollars. He's wasting Ernie Chambers' tax dollars, who was a citizen of Nebraska.
Have their rules and regs and
That was the point. It's fundamentally Australian. Jessa, how many schematics did you get from Australia?
I couldn't read
For
it.
the
They were all
Australian
upside
iPhone is so
down.
much different than the American one.
Yeah.
They were all upside
Maybe he had a point on tractors. The thing is, I don't know enough about tractors to know if he had a point there.
His argument is that you
This is the worst one.
down. No, I think he totally had a
This is
totally fair point.
This is the AT&T. This is the
KIMROBAK.
He's talking about like
I'm here today on
emission
behalf of
standards in
AT&T
Australia are
in
going to be
opposition
different than the
LB
US.
67.
You know?
I won't reiterate everything that everyone else has said today, but sitting in the audience and listening to the testimony, this has been a very interesting debate about the free market system.
Can I fast
and
forward
about
to the end?
Pairing,
Not till she
farm
lays you
machinery,
out.
equipment and telephones. But I will say that I urge you all to read the bill. It is
That's what I urge her to
extremely
do.
broad, and it refers
Wait,
to
did she already-
She says,
She
I
already yell at you?
urge. She said, I urge you all to read the bill. However, at the same time, she says that this bill asks
Then she
everybody to give.
misquotes.
Then she says this bill asks you to give away everything that you produced.
Right.
So you say you read the bill, but you don't understand the difference between a manual and a product.
No. She's much more clever than that. She's saying, I urge you to read the bill, and if you do that instead of fuck around on Facebook, then you will know that what I'm about to say next will be a lie. But if you don't, then I'm just gonna.
This
throw
was
it out
she
there.
was the
I'm just gonna
worst. She
consume
was the worst because she has a straight. That's a witch face right there. Look at that. Come on. That's Cruella DeVille in the flesh.
That's
Look
mean.
at that. That is
No
Cruella
mean,
DeVille.
Can't be mean. No mean personal attacks.
Why?
Play.
Is that not Cruella
Because
DeVille?
that's unkind.
It's truthful.
It's unkind.
It's truthful.
It doesn't matter. Truthful does not negate unkind.
Look at that
Unkind
smirk.
wins.
She's getting away with it.
of electronic equipment
That's a smirk.
sold in the state of Nebraska. This sounds like it's a big guy versus little guy issue.
Because
but
it is.
Examine the bill and think as if
Which
you
you haven't
were
done.
somebody at
Yeah,
the
exactly.
University
Do what I have not
Remember,
done.
This is what I said
And
I
have
would
now
have done.
created a
So
brand new
I can't.
product.
I think
It's an
this is
electronic
cool.
product,
You know.
and I want to sell that
Remember
bill
this? Do you remember that
as
from the
it
other
is
day
drafted. I
when we talked about like what would you do? And
With
I
what?
said I would ditch. I would exclusively focus on one thing, and then I would do this.
would have to give to anyone who
It's an
bought
emotional
that
argument.
product access to all of the electronic codes.
Taking the glasses off and all that, that's all emotional
Does
argument.
that make any sense? And if the state of Nebraska is the only state that does that, Senator Chambers' comment was that that would apply in all their states. Again, the way the bill is drafted, it says that any product that is sold and used in the state of Nebraska. If I'm the big guy, what I do is I just don't sell my products in the state of Nebraska because they have to be sold here. If it's online, I don't sell to anybody who has a zip code in Nebraska.
She keeps staring at me.
And if I'm a little
I love-
manufacturer, I move out of the state of Nebraska. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to introduce this bill and pass it only in the state of Nebraska because it does harm those individuals who create these.
I think it's not a smirk, it's a spot they missed when they bottomed her face, says Michael Paradigm in chat.
That is also
have to provide those
unkind,
codes.
Michael
Makes a whole
Paradigm.
lot of sense if you wanted to look at this from a federal level.
Look at
I
that.
see
Look at that. I got to look right there.
Makes a whole lot of sense if you wanted to look at this from a federal level.
I love that.
It's just like it's
I
just
love
like
that.
by now it was all like just let's go.
This was good.
I see that this hearing is being filmed today.
Yeah, 'cause I can catch you in
some
your lie.
iPhones, and I'm sure that it's going to be played. It may even be played live right now.
The lie is coming up.
Get it on
The lie
NBC,
is
so
coming
it
up.
You don't have to come in and.
It actually does, and here's the reason that this is
Wait, go
important.
back.
Because no,
Like, let her say it.
no,
Let her-
the
let
reason
her
that this
say
has to
it.
be recorded is she said it doesn't have to be recorded. The reason it has to be recorded is because the people who were recording the thing, they left right after we presented our testimony. They didn't have the opponents recorded. I was the only one that was actually recording the opponents in addition to the proponents of the bill.
And videotape it, but I'm sure that these topics will be raised and discussed, and perhaps a bill that is not so broad that it affects every single piece
We're coming up to the Cruella de Vil moment. Are you ready?
of equipment.
Don't be unkind.
Could be reviewed, but
Dishonesty is
doesn't make a lot
unkind,
of sense
Jessica.
to urge people who create products to have to give their products away.
Okay, so let's focus on that. Let's focus on what makes her Cruella de Vil. This is not subjective. This is objective. She just said we should not deal with a bill that tells people that they have to give their product away.
She just said the other thing, which was, why don't we just expect big companies to leave Nebraska? That's ridiculous. No one would ever think that would remotely be a possibility.
The amount of sales that they would lose, but that's not even the point. The point is that she said, read the bill. You don't understand the bill. You didn't get the bill. Read the bill. The bill says produce a manual. She just said you should not have to give away the product that you made. So she is equating the product with the manual. The manual on how to fix a Chevy means that I have a Chevy. The manual on how to fix a camcorder means that I have a camcorder. That's insane. That is emotional manipulation. That little taking
They're
the glasses
all
off,
like that.
the
I mean,
leaning
it's
in.
all the same.
No, some of them
Every
were.
single thing every person said was the same.
No, at least some of them were like, "I'm full of shit," but yeah, like they were honest about the fact that they were
No
full of
one
shit.
said
Could be
I'm
reviewed,
full
but,
of shit.
Listen,
It
look at
doesn't
this.
make a whole lot of sense to urge people who create products to have
Why
to
do
give
you
their
hate
products
the
away.
women more than the men?
I don't.
That's it. It is true. The farm guys were way crazy.
Because the guy creamed us, like the guy that was two before, the one that you
Yeah.
said we'd be afraid of.
Yeah.
He did not lie. He said, "Look at the bill. The way the bill is
okay,
written."
aside
No,
from
don't
the
interrupt me
John
because I'm
Deere
right.
guy.
You can't interrupt me because
John
I'm
Deere
right.
guy.
Which one?
The John Deere guy.
What was his argument? Oh, we skipped over him. That was the other bullshit one. I don't hate him more. He said he also brought up bullshit. He said,
Talk about him.
"You're
You
gonna
talk
interrupt
about
me
her
because you
and the other
interrupt
girl.
because you don't like when I have a point."
What's your point? You
He
hate-
said the
you
sa-
hate women more than men.
You purposely asked me to fast forward past them to get to this, yet now you're mad that I didn't criticize them because you're being a
Go
fourth.
ahead and criticize him then.
You're just being
Even it up.
you're being completely biased. You
No,
shouldn't
I'm
ask.
tired and I want to be done.
Don't ask me to fast forward through people if you don't. If you then say I didn't criticize them.
ahead
His
and
point was that one of them made the point. You'll have to go back and watch my video because I'm not going to find it here at 1 a.m. He said, "Well, it's not when you get an update for your tractor. That's not an update that you're paying $4,500 for. It's actually an upgrade." And
By upgrade, he means bug fix.
no, and here's the best example he could give, and this is sad that this is not the second or the fourth. This is the first example that he gave. This is the terrible argument. Is let's say there is a change in the frequency that we use because somebody else was using that frequency. We're going to include that in the upgrade so that you now are able to use the GPS or whatever it was again. That's not an update. That's a bug fix. That's you saying, "Oh, my bad, bro. We didn't figure out what frequency we were supposed to use the first time, but we fixed it, and now you can pay the
Can
$4,500
you
for it."
imagine if the same thing was true about like a baby monitor?
No, that was I would say that
Like
that
a
was
baby monitor in this house right now, and there's one in that house.
that was worse than the magnetron, but better than her. Because the thing is, what he said, like whether something is an update or not, like he was being subjectively dishonest, whereas she's being objectively dishonest. So he's calling whether or not you call something an update or an upgrade.
I think it is even worse to say. Essentially, what he said was farmers asked for security, and therefore we make them with the seatbelt sensor that no farmer.
Let's say they make the
ever
tractor
in a
boot
million
3 seconds faster, and they change the radio. They can technically call that an upgrade, and at least there's some. It's bullshit, but there's some tiny little bit of subjective honesty. What she did is she directly said, "You have to give away your product." That is objectively false. There's a difference. One is bullshit on a subjective scale. This is bullshit on an objective scale.
I would call it completely bullshit for the guy saying tractors asked us to install a sensor that will beep the shit out of the cab when they fail to put a seatbelt on a vehicle that's moving at 6 miles per hour.
Further, how many men were pissed off that I was recording them? How many men that testified, and by the way, I didn't make this a feminist issue, you did. How many men were actually pissed off that they were being recorded, and how many men pointed out that they were being recorded before telling a bold-faced lie?
2 women were pissed off. Here's one.
That's because you were turned into a meme, and that you didn't know about that before the stream, so that doesn't count. She was pissed off that she was being recorded because she was going to objectively lie. The same reason that the Apple lobbyists didn't show up, because they can't say that on camera. They cannot look at the camera with a straight face and say, it's not a Mac anymore. There.
Go to sleep.
This is what fourth wave feminists do when they lose an argument.
I'm really tired. I don't want to argue with you. Like, how long do live streams aren't fun for more than a little bit, you know? This is getting really
Time to drive home. What else is in here? Give their products away. I actually bought this product. This is my product. Jessa Lewis answered me this. Why did no one say even if one takes a MacBook board schematic and gets all the right components and connects them in the right way, it still wouldn't work because of no SMC and proprietary firmware? The thing is, I only had 3 minutes. So in the beginning of what I said is that I'm not asking for the information required to produce the product or manufacture it. I just want what's required to repair it. I kept that part short because I wanted to get to the fuse part. I wanted to get to the security concern. I wanted to get to safety, but my little light already turned red.
I wanted them to just feel like I was a believable person so that they might read my 9-page thing. I think my 9-page thing was good.
It was, and I saw people thumbing through it, except for the person who was, just looking at Facebook.
My goal was just to make them not hate me because I was from out of town, and then
Which we all failed at, let's face it.
let's just go.
They just
Go back to New York. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, let's go back to our home state and be hated where we live, where we come from. Yeah, sure.
We should have taken naps. Now it was a bad idea to not.
Did it pass or no? I'll let you guess. I haven't.
Have you ever fallen asleep on a live stream?
I have not. All right, time to get out of here.
Can't talk about any more repair.
Yeah, me either.